powerful and colorful predator that will survive and thrive in its own habitat. Sometimes, though, the hunt leads you and your hunger astray, which can direct you to an undesired outcome. But you know what? You're a tiger with great survival skills. You come roaring back. The fact remains, though, while solitary, those that started with you won't necessarily finish with you.
The guy that I'm about to introduce you to won this job.
The mountain lion goes by many names and loves to sit atop a rocky outcrop, overlooking their vast territory. They're considered one of the largest species of wildcats. Now, due to its flexible spine, keep in mind that no matter the fall,
it throws, and it is intercepted!
The mountain lion will always land on its feet. Both are uniquely qualified to stake a claim to this new soil. Beast mode in atypical territory is now. So many different moving parts today, and like a true cat, you got to be ready for anything and react. The Nittany Lions against the Tigers. Ready to lay down the hammer today here in Texas. First time taking the field as a head coach, Ryan Silverfield. The Tigers, the little engine that could, representing the group of five here this afternoon. This is the biggest game in school history. You're watching the 2019 Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. The Tigers, number 17, from the grind city, ready to grind it out any way possible against number 10, Penn State. We talk about all the offensive weapons for the Memphis Tigers, and they've got a lot of them. Brady White, Kenneth Gainwell, the Rookie of the Year in the conference, Coxie at wide receiver, and Antonio Gibson, another guy who has been a late emerging star. Can they turn it loose today against one of the top defenses in the entire country? James Franklin leading his team out of the field. Through the smoke, they're ready to give out the smoke today. (10-2) on the season, highly motivated and just a little bit agitated, ready to put out today and put on. Penn State against Memphis. We've been waiting for this for a while.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Olivia Decker down to the field, joining us in just a bit. This is arguably the biggest game in school history for Memphis. We saw them week one, and they put it down on Ole Miss with a convincing win. They haven't looked back since.
Special season for the Memphis Tiger program, and a new head coach in his first game and the biggest game in program history. You want to talk about starting your career with a bang? Great opportunity today for that man, Ryan Silverfield, and can't wait to see what the emotions are, how focused and dialed in this team is. And they've got quite the battle in their hands against James Franklin, Penn State, and this Nittany Lion football team that in their own right has put together a fantastic season.
Dusty, we always talk about it in bowl games. Motivation is what is always questioned first. How motivated are teams to be here? Do they really want to play here? In meeting with Coach Franklin yesterday, I think he checked all the boxes for his team.
Well, he went back and showed his players that in this game, the group of five has won 3 of the 5 matchups against the Power 5. So he's reminding them you have to stay locked in, stay focused, and always respect your opponent. That's one of the best coaches in college football, 3 out of 4 years in the New Year's Six. He will have his team ready to play here today.
Penn State playing in their 50th bowl game all time. Now let's go downstairs to Olivia.
Well, Mark, it's been 28 days since Penn State has played in a game, and there's been a lot going on during that time. Rumors of James Franklin taking another job are put to bed as he signs a 6-year contract extension. Offensive coordinator Ricky Ronnie takes the Old Dominion job, and Kirk Shiraka is hired away from Minnesota as the new OC. He's even here today, FaceTiming with some recruits from the field, but he's not coaching. So who's calling the plays? It's tight end coach Tyler Bowen, his first time in his career ever doing so. James Franklin told me he's a rising star. But listen, with all this going on, staff, players, coaches, they tell us Coach Franklin's structure has made this transition smooth, easy, really keeping status quo for this last game, Mark.
Yeah, Coach Franklin always likes to say that every week is our Super Bowl game, right, and trying to downplay some of the hype that goes into this one. As we take a look at our impact players, our Chick-fil-A impact players of the game, and some real quasars to keep an eye on here on the field.
Well, they'll be on the field at the same time today. Kenneth Gainwell looking to make it 2,000 yards from scrimmage here today with 43 more. One of the best dynamic freshmen in college football. And the true sophomore Micah Parsons has quality linebackers you'll find anywhere in college football. These two going at it today is going to be fun to watch.
Well, Memphis won the toss, deferring to the second half, so Penn State will receive and have the football first. Penn State's offense will take the field. We'll get a look at Sean Clifford on the field first. And as we walked around this area here in Arlington, and upon arrival here, you could feel a real tangible vibe. You know, the people from the Bluff City, Memphis, they have shown up and ready to show out here, wearing the colors all through these streets.
Memphis Tiger fans everywhere here for this Cotton Bowl, ready to support their team in a great season. And as we've talked about, you could make the argument the biggest game in program history.
Penn State, meanwhile, hasn't been here since the mid-'70s. Memphis Tigers making their first ever appearance here in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Don't tell them that they don't belong here. They'll say otherwise. And we are underway as toe meets leather. Down to the 20-yard line, Journey Brown. Starting tailback runs out of bounds, pushed down at about the 27-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 for quarterback Sean Clifford, completing 60% of his passes on the season. You heard Olivia speaking with Coach Franklin about his relative health. He was injured during that Ohio State game, but set and ready to go here today. He's thrown for over 2,500 yards this season.
Heavy RPO offense. He does a lot of things pre-snap, post-snap. Very intelligent quarterback. And as the offensive coordinator for today, Tyler Bowen, said he's student of the game.
On first and 10, a little play action to Brown, and he fires high, intended for Jahan Johnson. Second and 10 coming up. Started for a couple of years, Sean Clifford did. He sat for a couple of years behind Trace McSorley, now with the Ravens. Learned a great deal as his understudy. Out of the backfield, complete to Brown. Made one guy miss and pushed out of bounds right around the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard on the play, setting up a third down and long. Jacoby Francis pushing him out of bounds for the Tigers.
Nice job by Memphis rallying to the football, just to throw out into the flats for Journey Brown, who's really emerged the last month of the season for this Penn State offense, able to escort him out of the bounds quickly for a minimal gain.
Good eye on Bryce Huff, number 55, on that defensive front for the Tigers, one of their better pass rushers. Play clock down to 7.
Kevin Clune calling the plays today. Adam Fuller left with Mike Norvell to Florida State. We'll see if he dials up pressure on the first third down.
Play clock all the way down to 1. Clifford incomplete, almost intercepted, throwing into traffic. J.J. Russell had a hand on it and almost had a shot at picking it off. Instead, it'll be fourth down. So a quick 3 and out for Coach Franklin's squad on the first possession of the game.
Well, Memphis decided to bluff and show that they were going to bring pressure, then sit out and play zone coverage. J.J. Russell, as he gets in his drop, reads the eyes of Sean Clifford, steps in the throwing lane, and probably should have had interception on the opening possession.
Yeah, surely. A low line drive all the way down to the 15-yard line. This is Travion Samuel. Still on his feet, but nowhere to go. Chopped down at the 12-yard line by Jonathan Sutherland. A 57-yard punt. Actually lost a couple on the return. It'll be 1st and 10 for quarterback Brady White from there. Former transfer from Arizona State, followed his former head coach Mike Norvell from Arizona State to Memphis. This year, beyond those numbers that you see, he really feels, Dusty, like he won the locker room over. He's not the new guy anymore.
His leadership role stepped up drastically, even when we had him going all the way back to week 1, and that's grown and grown and grown throughout the course of this season.
88 yards away, 1st and 10. Wilson in motion, and it's incomplete. Dropped by Jones. That'll be 2nd down and 10. Well, folks, college football playoff semifinals today. What you've been waiting for. ESPN and the app as well. Heisman winner Joe Burrow, #1 LSU take on #4 Oklahoma. In the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. Then #2 Ohio State, #3 Clemson. In the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, the winners play for all the chips. The national championship Monday, January 13th on ESPN. 2nd and 10 from the 12. Good edge rush and wide open for a 1st down and then some. Coaxey still on his feet and into Penn State territory. $39 yards in all and a 1st down.
Just a 4-man rush by Penn State, sitting back in zone coverage. Coaxey wide open. Brady White finds his man, and excellent job after the catch getting that extra yardage.
Coaxey, their leading receiver on the season. White gets it out quickly again, complete. And push out of bounds at about the 42. That's Kenneth Gainwell.
Like that previous play, Coaxey just run the slant. Michael Parsons, they thought they were going to throw the bubble, overcommitted, a little over-aggressive there. And Brady White finds his favorite target and makes Penn State pay on this opening drive.
Monty Coaxey, the coaches say that nobody works harder than he does. Nobody's more competitive. They go one-on-one coverage down the field. Coaxey, the intended target, well covered in the secondary by John Reed. It'll be 3rd and 4.
It's excellent coverage down the field by the 5th-year senior. Best cover man for Penn State. One-on-one coverage, pressing him at the line of scrimmage, getting a little jam on him, hands on him. Excellent position, and well done there by the undersized 5'10" John Reed.
3rd and 4 from the 42. White's going to throw it again. Flag down, pass complete, 1st down inside the 35-yard line to Antonio Gibson. Let's see if this play stands, though. There's a flag at the 46.
Defense number 18. The penalty is declined. The play made it 1st down.
It's going to go against Shaka Toney on the gain of 7.
Well, 14 Antonio Gibson has become a weapon for this Memphis offense. The latter half of the season, since SMU, he has just exploded. They got him in a prime matchup there against the safety, Garrett Taylor. A nice route, quality pickup on 3rd down.
Patrick Taylor, the lone back. On the reverse, nowhere to go that time for Kenneth Gainwell. Interesting to note that Patrick Taylor, #6, was the starting running back in game 1, was injured in that game that we did, Dusty, against Ole Miss. And then Gainwell, who you saw run the ball just a moment ago, emerged as the star ball carrier. On 2nd and 10. Between the tackles, Taylor, this is what he can do, back and healthy inside the 20-yard line, and a 1st down for Memphis. Castro Fields missed a tackle on a nice move and a gain of 15.
Well, this is a big physical running back, but he shows some agility here. This is going to be a zone. Little jump cut, finds the open hole, makes the cornerback Castro Fields miss, and excellent pickup. Nice opening drive for Memphis.
Down the sidelines, incomplete. At the 7-yard line, intended for Coaxey again. So we've only seen Memphis, Dusty, run the ball once. but had some success there.
Well, this was the weak part of the Penn State defense this year. They did have some struggles in their secondary. Brent Pry referenced that yesterday. One of the best defenses in all of college football, choking out the run game, and Memphis coming out early, getting the ball out in space to their playmakers.
Gibson and Taylor in the backfield this time. They give it a different look on the reverse. Nobody home. That's the man. Micah Parsons said, "I'll see you when I see you." Bringing down Calvin Austin on the play.
Well, this guy's acceleration is just absolutely off the charts. Let's take a look at Micah Parsons coming downhill on a blitz, gets through, and a big tackle for a huge loss for the true sophomore All-American linebacker.
They tried to scheme the Nittany Lions on the run that time to no avail. 3rd and long now. White in the pocket. Incomplete over the middle. 4th down coming up. Pass was tipped by Lamont Wade and knocked away. And they'll send the field goal unit in.
Pressure was coming down on Brady White. Stands in there. Pass thrown slightly behind his intended target. Nice pass breakup.
Riley Patterson in to attempt this field goal. He's made his last 10 in a row. This one coming from 48 yards out. Just inside that left upright. Good. So the Memphis Tigers and head coach Ryan Silverfield strike first. And a couple of coaches in different stages of their careers and tenures. The first timer with the lead when we come back. Welcome back, everyone, to the 2019 Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Dusty, you left your indelible mark on this game years ago.
Wow.
You were bigger and more diesel back then.
You guys breaking out the old photos my true freshman year. That was at the original Cotton Bowl we played in back in the day against Arkansas. A very fun game to be a part of. I mean, growing up, this is one of the biggest bowl games you're going to find, and it still is. To have a chance 18 years ago to play in that game, now come back and get to call it, pretty cool moment back here in my backyard in Dallas.
Unbelievable stuff.
We might have had 9 sacks in that game. Oh. Not saying, just saying.
Just rattle those stats off for me, partner. You had a couple of sacks in that game, I know. I Googled you. On the kickoff, 1st and 10. Second series of the game coming up for Sean Clifford and this Nittany Lion offense. What do you make of that first one? There was a quick 3 and out.
It was a nice effort by Memphis, getting off the field quickly. And, you know, I would say Penn State very fortunate that Sean Clifford didn't throw an interception. He never saw J.J. Russell step in front of a pass. Obviously something to keep an eye on.
Remember, we got Tyler Bowen calling plays for the first time. He is the offensive coordinator for today's game. Ron Franklin was actually his offensive coordinator as a player back in the day.
They got to get Journey Brown going. It's the guy who had 3 or 4 100-yard games to close out the season.
Clifford passes it to the edge. Good catch and run on the play. 1st down. That's Dotson picking up 12 on a little RPO.
It's that run-pass option. Nice read there by Sean Clifford. Here's Clifford being injured against Ohio State. Next to the last game of the season. Missed the Rutgers game.
Back to the action on the move. Clifford looking downfield. Handle wide open. And pushed out of bounds in Memphis territory at about the 32-yard line. Another nice gain by Penn State. This one of 31 yards.
Well, you've seen it on back-to-back plays. This is one thing Sean Clifford really does well. Throws the ball on the move. KJ Hamler gets free past the second level and an easy pitch and catch for a big game.
Penn State going fast as well. They hand it off to Journey Brown. Between the tackles, still on his feet. Bringing that smoke with the straight arm, still going. What a journey! Touchdown!
That's the guy that jumped off the tape the last half of the season. You see the speed, burst, and power as he rolls into the end zone What do they say, partner? It's not the destination, it's the journey.
Yeah.
Mr. Brown on the board here early.
Woo. He did not want to be tackled, Dusty.
Running violent out there.
What an answer by the Nittany Lions. A 32-yard run by Journey Brown, who really emerged in the middle part of the season to wrest control as the starting running back. Emerging in the shadows of Kane and Ford and Slade, Brown refusing to go down. Dusty breaks it down on the other side of this.
The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, brought to you by Goodyear, celebrating those who rise above. Goodyear, more driven. Northwestern Mutual, spend your life living. And the Nachos Party Pack from Taco Bell.
Well, Journey Brown had a great run, but it was also outstanding block. And watch these two take these two and open up a massive hole on the line of scrimmage. Huge hole, nothing but grass in between. And then Journey Brown does the rest, making tacklers miss and punishing defenders with a couple of stiff arms into the end zone. Steven Gonzalez, the left guard, Michael Minute, the center, set up that gaping hole with a nice double team and allowed Journey Brown the opportunity to take it to the house.
What a great answer on that drive by Penn State. 3 plays, 75 yards, 56 seconds in all. And now it's Memphis's turn back on the field with an opportunity to answer. Brady White completed 64% of his passes on the season. And an intelligent quarterback, good accuracy. He's going to need it all today against this Nittany Lion defense. Patrick Taylor in at tailback. And that's the guy they're going to have to account for defensively. Micah Parsons on 1st and 10 to sweep. A gain of about 2 by Jones. Let's go down to Olivia.
Well, it's fun watching Coach Silverfield in his first game as the head coach, kind of figuring out who to talk to and when and all the different assignments you have as head coach. But guys, he's still coaching the offensive line. In fact, during warm-ups, he was down there with his hand in the dirt with his guys like normal.
Once an O-line coach, always an O-line coach. White into coverage and batted away nicely for the second time here this afternoon by John Reed. That's emerging as an interesting storyline, a one-on-one matchup there, Dustin.
Well, they want to take shots down the field, and of course they're going to go to Coxie. How about the hops there by the senior John Reed, getting up and playing big. An outstanding pass breakup 2 times now. They've tried to take a shot down the field. John Reed in great position here early.
3rd and long, 8 to go. Play clock down to 5. White got a man wide open. Caught by Jones. Down to the 17. 1st down, Tigers. Brady White with some great improvisation, and they pick up 56 yards.
Well, it's patience for Brady White. Nothing is there initially. Moves to his left. He's getting run down on by Micah Parsons. The pressure's coming, and he sees his target break free in the middle of the field. Huge strike to Jones.
Up at the line quickly. Empty formation, 5 receivers. White completes it down to the 8-yard line. Caught by Patrick Taylor out of the backfield.
Back to that last play, work on the outside. We were just praising John Reed, just a deep post, and Reed loses him, and Jones continues his route. And outstanding job by Brady White, being patient and locating his open target down the field.
In the red zone.
Big play offense.
And Brady White splits out as a receiver, got a wildcat formation with Patrick Taylor now. Takes the direct snap over the right side. All the way down to the 3-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal. Jan Johnson making the tackle.
And expect to see quite a bit of this wildcat formation here today. They gain an extra hat when they go ahead and put the ball right in the hands of Patrick Taylor or Kenneth Gainwell. It's a way to go against this outstanding front 7 of Penn State. And talking with the offensive coordinator, Kevin Johns, calling plays for the first time here today, is going to be a big piece of what they do offensively to try to get the ground game going.
Brady White up in the shotgun, hands it off to Taylor. Broke a tackle. Taylor, touchdown Tigers. Back at you.
That's an answer right there, partner.
If there were any questions as to the absolute health of Patrick Taylor, they were answered on this run, Dusty.
Well, Jan Jansen, old school middle linebacker, he comes clean, and he can't make the tackle. He's grabbing for legs, too strong of a runner. And then Taylor powers his way into the end zone, his 36th career rushing touchdown. Phenomenal player, over 1,200 yards a season ago. Season not what he wanted with the injury, but you best believe he's going to try to go out with a bang here in today's Cotton Bowl.
6 plays, 75 yards on the drive, and the score. Power 5 on the left, group of 5 on the right. What say you?
Welcome back to Dallas. Ryan Silverfield coaching his first game for the Memphis Tigers. Here's when he was announced to his team. He found out he was the interim following their championship win in their conference, and then a couple days later named the head coach. He told the search committee, search the country. Don't just pick me because the guys want me. And guys, this is someone who didn't even play college football. He coaches with a chip on his shoulder. He said, I have a chip on my shoulder like a lot of our players. And the main thing today, he wanted detail and control. Wasn't worried about them coming out flat.
Yeah, here's a guy who started coaching at 18 years old in high school.
I like the passion, the enjoyment, the excitement. It's a player's coach. This team loves Ryan Silverfield, and he called this his dream job. And he said that Memphis is a special place. The culture in Memphis he has embraced and come to love, and they feel that they found a bright, shining star in Ryan Silverfield to lead Memphis to the next chapter in this program.
With some NFL lineage, spent 5 years with the Minnesota Vikings. Leslie Frazier, a big impression on him there. A pass incomplete intended for Freiermuth, who is one of their main weapons, throwing and running. He's such a versatile player, an all-conference player, that time unable to make the catch.
He's a real tight end. Excellent blocker, fantastic pass catcher, size. And you see there just didn't quite look the ball in, was turning upfield to run before he completed the catch.
With a pressure and a sack back at the 24-yard line. Jonathan Wilson, a.k.a. Swamp, with the sack. Good coverage downfield on that one. And a long third down coming up for Penn State.
Yeah, that's a coverage sack right there. Jonathan Wilson gets there late, but outstanding job down the field. Sean Clifford nowhere to go with the football. And the Memphis pass rush gets there late.
Third sack of the season for Wilson. On 3rd and 11. Tigers bringing a little heat. And they get to Clifford again. Sack him back at the 21. Bryce Huff with his 7th sack of the season.
Well, Bryce Huff, this is a showcase game for him. He's had 2 excellent, productive seasons in the American. Let's take a look at him working off the edge here. He's going to get home. He's working on Fries. Fries really struggles with speed, bending those knees, and you saw the chop rip. Bryce Huff get up the field, and a huge sack here early in this game.
Hey, the Memphis Tigers going to have good starting field position here after that punt. That was the second 3 and out that they've caused. Tigers with a 3-point lead when we come back after that 38-yard punt. Full game originated when Texas Oilman J. Curtis Sanford paid for the first matchup at the Texas Fairgrounds Cotton Bowl on January 1st, 1937 between TCU and Marquette. Wow. It's the 84th edition of this game, and a pass and catch and run to Calvin Austin for a first down, a pickup of 13.
Calvin Austin got some outstanding speed, one of the fastest guys on this offense, zone coverage, and he finds a soft spot.
From the 47. Handed off this time to Gibson. You know, you look at the Penn State helmets, and there's a WT on the back. That stands for Wally Triplett. this started in 1948, but it actually began in 1946 season when the team voted to cancel their game against Miami because, like many schools in the South, Miami didn't play against integrated schools unless they agreed to leave their black players at home. It led to the credo, "We are Penn State," as Brady White slides in about a yard shy of the first down. Now, the following year, in the 1948 Cotton Bowl, Penn State said, "Hey, we are bringing Wally Triplett. We are bringing Denny Hoggard." And they ended up playing in the game against SMU. It ended up in a tie ball game, and they made history in the process as Gainwell runs it, and he'll pick up the first down. And Wally Triplett becoming in the process the first African-American to play in this storied football game. Couldn't imagine having to leave your African-American players at home today. First down and 10. Taking a shot downfield and overshoots Calvin Austin. Olivia?
Well, just crazy to believe that teams from the north that were desegregated, it was almost a gentleman's agreement to not bring their African-American players down when they played in the South. So this was a huge deal when Penn State did it in that game. And it was thought to be the origin of that chant, "We are Penn State." And when they got to Dallas, the team even had to stay at a naval base because no hotel would take them. It's hard for most of us to imagine a world like this.
Great point, Olivia. On the run here, 2nd and 10. Oh, he hit him with the sauce inside the 20. Gainwell gives him another first down, and he shook Garrett Taylor's world on that play.
Oh, man, this guy is incredible out in space. Garrett Taylor, the safety comes down, excellent tackler, and he just cannot get any kind of contact on Kenneth Gainwell. Excellent run. It's a big 3rd down run to convert the first down, and here he is in the open space doing what he does, making people miss and ripping off big gains.
Boy, the Tigers really moving the ball well against this defense of Penn State. Parsons coming on pressure and incomplete, intended for Coxie. Covered by Keaton Ellis, the true freshman. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Just to put another period on that point with Wally Triplett, you know, James Franklin told us earlier that he grew up in Philadelphia in the shadows of Penn State, not that far away. He never thought as a kid that that job would be attainable for him, but to see where we are now and to see that where he is now is really a testament to how things have changed.
In a good way. And what did Coach Franklin tell us? He wanted to be the first African-American coach to win a national championship.
Into the boundary. This is Gainwell, pushed out of bounds right near that first down marker. And James Franklin came out and said earlier, "Hey, I want to be,"
holding,
as you said.
Offense number 58, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
He was unabashed and unapologetic. His goal, to win a national championship and to be the first African-American coach to do it. 10-2 this season with a good recruiting class coming in. After the penalty, they will back this up beyond the 25, spotting it at the 27.
58 on Brian Thomas, making his first start at left tackle today. Scotty Dill out at right tackle, and they moved easy over to right. Costly penalty there on a big pickup by Gainwell.
Right, with a safety valve incomplete through the hands of Kenneth Gainwell. And it's going to be 3rd down and long. Gainwell, to think that, Dusty, he redshirted last year. Didn't see much, if any time at all. Did not play. And you think about his journey. Mississippi State all passed on him. They got in too late, and he ends up having great success at Memphis.
They had a man who plays in this stadium, Tony Pollard, left in the 4th round, and that's exactly the role that Kenneth Gainwell has provided this season.
3rd and 20. Steps up, decides to take off. He gets back some of that lost yardage inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Brooks makes the tackle, the gain of 7. 4th down coming up, and Riley Patterson coming in to kick a field goal.
Well, it's really good coverage down the field. You see Reed working up top. Also the nickelback, Lamont Wade. Guys completely locked up. Pocket started collapsing on Brady White. Decided he's just going to get what he can get and set up for a field goal. Another productive drive here for this Memphis offense.
Patterson connecting earlier from 48. This one from 37 yards out. And under perfect conditions here, he gets it inside that left upright. And the Tigers take a 6-point lead. And this is the first game as head coach for Ryan Silverfield. Well, folks, Monday we'll have the Capital One Orange Bowl for you. Kyle Trask leading number 9 Florida against Bryce Perkins and number 24 Virginia at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Cavaliers won their first ACC Coastal title, and it's their first Orange Bowl, in fact. But look out for that Gator defense, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, as well as the ESPN app. Who do you pick in that one?
I like Florida in that game. I think Florida, outstanding year for Dan Mullen. Offensively, they've been able to pick it up. A ferocious defense. I like Bryce Perkins, a quarterback, but I think Florida just too athletic, too talented in that matchup.
Perkins real exciting to watch, one of the best at his position. 10 plays, 40 yards, 3.5 minutes on the clock. Capped with a 37-yard field goal by Riley Patterson. You surprised by this good start by Memphis?
A little bit. Yeah. I think especially the way that we've seen Memphis be able to run the football. But they're doing exactly what Kevin Johns, the offensive coordinator, told us they were going to do. They've taken a lot of shots. We've seen wildcats. We've seen misdirection perimeter runs, spreading the ball around, and as much as anything, tempo. And that's something Kevin Johns said wanted to put his stamp on today's game.
We have yet to see, Dusty, Sean Clifford find his real rhythm. And remember, he was injured in that Ohio State game. We showed you the video a moment ago. Looks like he's still trying to get untracked here. They've had 2 3-and-outs already in this ball game. But he's a guy who's very capable of rallying this offense. Noah Kane in now for the first time at tailback, and he takes the handoff. Pushed forward out to the 29-yard line.
I'm a big fan of Noah Kane. He was injured the latter half of the season, opened the door for Journey Brown, but a true freshman. You watch him against Iowa. They rode him to the end, a physical runner that doesn't go down on first contact.
Gets another carry here. Picks up the first down beyond the 40. Out to the 44-yard line. Consecutive runs by Noah Kane, who came into the game with 351 rushing yards. Gets 15 there, and they're going fast.
And it's left side, strong side, behind 74 Gonzalez, 53 Rasheed Walker. When you watch this offensive line from the center to the left, that's the strength of this O-line, especially in the run game. They get great movement, open up creases, and we've already seen earlier in the game the big run by Journey Brown come off the left side, and another there by Noah Kane a few plays ago.
Noah Kane, the tailback that gives you the most yards after contact in that backfield. Sean Clifford on 2nd down and 6. To the bottom of the field, George drops it. He would have had a first down. Daniel George couldn't squeeze it as we check in with the studio.
All right, guys, back there, the studio update. Checking in on Notre Dame and Iowa State. Remember, Tommy Rees calling ball play today for the Irish. Ian Book to chase Claypool. 24 yards. Irish up early, 10-0, end of the first. Jonesy?
All right, Matt. Season's greetings to you and yours. 3rd and 6.
It's a matchup to watch. Down low, 55. Bryce Huff on Will Fries. He's already got him for 1 sack.
Clifford on the move, under dress, and brought down at about the 46-yard line by Cullins. And this Memphis Tigers defense might be saying, y'all are talking about Penn State's D a lot. How about us?
That's right. Joseph Dorcius, 94, 55. Bryce Huff, watch him. And then it's going to be 8. Fastest linebacker, Zaven Cullins. He's going to come over the top, kind of spying the quarterback and escort Clifford out of bounds. A nice stop by this Memphis defense.
Gillikin with a punt. Gonna bounce at the 15-yard line. Good stick and stay for the punter, who's averaging 42 per punt on the season. That one goes 38. Who are your group of 5? Well, Memphis, the top representative, making it here to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. FAU, Miami, Ohio, out of the MAC, out of the Mountain West, Boise State, Coach Harsin.
App
State out of the Sun Belt. App State's always going to hurt somebody's feelings during the year. They're going to get that guaranteed check and go to the bank with that W at some point, right?
They play a physical brand of football. It's like they do in the American Conference. Underrated conference in my estimation.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more. Taylor trying to get to the edge and brought down at the 16-yard line. Good tackle there by Garrett Taylor. Talked about Patrick Taylor and how he decided to return for his senior season. The NFL Advisory Board last year gave him the same grade as Pollard, who went in the 4th round to the Dallas Cowboys. White rolls out. He's going to be brought down. Almost threw it away. It's going to be incomplete. Robert Windsor and Ellis Brooks there to apply the pressure. And it's going to be 3rd and long now for Memphis.
Let's take a look at 54. Windsor does an excellent job on the inside. Just continues to get up the field and chases down Brady White. Brady White fortunate to get rid of that football as he tries to deliver it kind of in a panic mode to Patrick Taylor, but excellent pressure by the senior defensive tackle.
27 seconds to go in the 1st quarter. Flags down. They set up the screen complete to Taylor. Got some blockers in front of him. And let's see the spot. He is just a little bit short, apparently, of the 1st down between the 24 and 25, but there's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Brooks made the tackle on the play. That's going to be against Memphis, so it'll come back. But Patrick Taylor seems to be running the ball authoritatively.
Formation, offense number 58 and number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Both offensive tackles too far in the backfield. 58, and again, we've talked about this. Easy has been the left tackle all season, has moved to right with Dill out. Brian Thomas has come in, sitting back to give themselves some extra opportunity on these speed rushes from these Penn State defensive ends. Cost them on that 3rd down.
Now that offensive line with those mistakes has to deal with the head coach as well. Who is the offensive line coach? And that's going to be the end of the first 15 minutes here at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, folks. Memphis came in as the underdog. But right now, they lead at 13-7. You're watching the 2019 Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. A little bit earlier today, the Battle of the Bands. Play your trombone. That guy did it.
There's a couple things that I'm confused with.
Memphis Tigers showing up today, and they're following from the Bluff City with the lead right now and looking at 3rd down and long. Patrick Taylor in the backfield. A lot of blue in the building today. Different shades of it. 3rd and 14. White on the move. Has a receiver dropped at the 33-yard line. Would have been a 1st down catch, but Kadarian Jones couldn't squeeze it. That's the 2nd drop that Brady White has had today.
Brady White moves to his right. We saw Yetur Gross-Matos get up the field. Nice job by the tackle to wash him by. Opened up some vision for Brady White. Locates his target. And a rare drop on the near sidelines. Could have easily been a big pickup on 3rd and long.
KJ Hamler standing at his own 41-yard line for the Nittany Lions. Williams going to punt for the Tigers. This will be returnable, but he watches it bounce, and it takes a Nittany Lion bounce, and it'll end up in Memphis territory at about the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 for Sean Clifford after that 35-yarder.
Well, coming into today, the big story was this Penn State defense against the Memphis offense. And how about this for a statement by Memphis in the opening quarter? Most yards allowed in the 1st quarter by Brent Pye's defense all season. Here by these Memphis Tigers. They came to play.
We showed the playmakers that they had. They have an abundance of them. One of the top offenses in the country, averaging over 41 per game coming in. Sean Clifford hands it off. It's going to be Journey Brown. Penn State comes in very wary because James Franklin showed his team the results of Group of 5 teams that have upended Power 5 conference teams. So they came in well warned. Clifford trying to make a play. Pass is caught for the first down. That's Dotson. Boy, a great ad-lib there by Sean Clifford. 10-yard gain.
Clifford under pressure again. Storyline is this Memphis defensive line so far under pressure. Has to be on the move, get off his spot. Makes an outstanding off-schedule throw. Jahan Dotson goes down and gets it.
Haven't heard much from KJ Hamler yet today. Three receivers split to the top of your screen. Hamler's the inside one. He's their leading receiver coming in today. They hand it off though to Journey Brown, trying to get into the boundary and push out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Here's what we were alluding to a moment ago. Boise State over Arizona, Houston, Western Michigan, UCF. All good results against Power 5 conference teams. So Penn State can't sleep on these guys.
Group of 5, 3-2 in these matchups. And it's about the mentality, the motivation. And for Memphis, biggest game in program history in Penn State. James Franklin wanted to make sure they were sharp and focused on the task at hand.
Journey Brown, boy, good tackle at about the 28-yard line by Sanchez Blake Jr. Came up and that was a textbook tackle.
They say he's one of the most improved players on this defense. Really good around the line of scrimmage. And we got to be able to tackle. And coming downhill, big time tackle and open space on Journey Brown.
3rd and 4. Clifford going to do it himself. Inside the 20-yard line to move the chains. Got a good block up front by Friese. 1st down and 10 on the 7-yard gain.
Well, misdirection quarterback run game. Like the block by the tight end. Pat Fryermuth to help spring Clifford for 1st down and move the chains.
Noah Kane now in the backfield. See Journey Brown and Noah Kane, and Jimmy Clifford sliding into the 15-yard line. Austin Hall there to stop him. Well, New Year's Day on ESPN and the ESPN app, it's the granddaddy of them all, 6th-ranked Oregon against 8th-ranked Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl game, presented by Northwestern Mutual, and number 5 Georgia, number 7 Baylor meet in the All-State Sugar Bowl. What a great day, New Year's Day. Dusty, I know you won't have the lampshade on your head from the party the night before, but we'll both be sitting down watching that game.
No question. Outstanding matchups.
Maybe you will have the lampshade on your head still. I don't know. Noah Kane in the backfield. This one goes to Hamler, trying to make a play. Turns on the turbo. Touchdown! The lethal speed of KJ Hamler. They're going to say he's out of bounds at the 2-yard line. 1st and goal.
But you're exactly right. Get your playmakers the ball out in space, and that's where KJ Hamler is so lethal. Give him an inch, he'll take a mile. Didn't need it. Leandre Thomas, the safety, came up, and he was left hugging air. Little bubble screen outside, nice block, one-on-one situation, and it's just a foot race to the sidelines.
They're going to review this play. He did appear to hit the white right there, if at all.
Well, fortunately for us,
he might have. This is the one. Wow. Is there a little green in between there? Let's bring in Dave Kataya. Dave, your thoughts on this replay, our official in the booth.
Well, the key is here. Remember, we have to have 100% that the call is incorrect on the field. The call on the field is out of bounds. I don't see enough there to make it 100% to reverse this call.
All right. We'll see what they say here. That was as close as it gets. So we default to the eyes on the field. And the ruling on the field was he was out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
So would you expect that to be a stands or confirmed?
I would go stands on that because it is very, very close. And whenever you go stands, it has to be 100% to change the call.
After further review, the runner's right foot was out of bounds to the 2. The ball is at the 1. It'll be first and goal from the 1-yard line.
The result is the same, stands. Okay, but to me, there was not enough. It doesn't make a lot of difference because the call stands on the field, but they're just simply confirming they had enough to see the foot out of bounds.
Now, the one thing that did change on that, correct me if I'm wrong, they had him ruled out at the 2. They said the foot's out at the 2, but the ball's at the 1. So doesn't get in the end zone, but the ball does move up. First and goal from the 1-yard line.
It's the position of the ball when that foot hits the ground, not where the foot is, where the ball is when he goes out.
Thank you, Dave Pataya. First and 10. First and goal from the 1. And they finish the job. Noah Cain, touchdown, Penn State. An impressive drive by the Nittany Lions to knot it at 13.
Tough physical run. Downhill by Noah Cain. We talked about earlier, true freshman, had back-to-back 100-yard games earlier this season against Purdue, against Iowa. The only other time that's happened for Penn State by a true freshman, a guy named Saquon Barkley.
He was pretty good.
He's okay. Still doing all right for the Giants.
Vinegar in for the extra point, giving Penn State a 1-point lead. James Franklin's team in their 3rd New Year's Six Bowl under his tutelage and guidance. Back after this. You're watching the 2019 Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic from Arlington, Texas, and AT&T Stadium. The New Year's Six underway in earnest. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl coming up a little bit later. PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. As we get ready for the kick, Nittany Lions with a 1-point lead here, 14-13. An 8-play, 45-yard drive. And the Tigers will get it first down and 10, coming back the other way. As for the rest of the New Year's Six, in a Capital One Orange Bowl down at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual as well. And the All-State Sugar Bowl down in the Big Easy. All of the New Year's Six. It's 150 years of this great sport, Dusty the Board Check.
As good as it gets, man. And here we are kicking things off on biggest Saturday in college football. We all wait for the New Year's Six for the college football playoff, and I'll enjoy the holidays, and now it's football holidays.
Yes, sir. Taylor and Gainwell in the backfield. Look at the huge discrepancy in yardage.
Play game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Boy, Brady White with that Minshew quarterback.
Little Gardner Minshew mustache there.
that's right out of the 70s, man.
That's a costly mistake there for Memphis.
Well, he flanks out now, and they're going to go Wildcat with Patrick Taylor. Little counter step. Actually, it's Gainwell this time. And Gainwell makes it to the 20-yard line. No gain on the play. I don't know. I'd give that mustache about a 6.5, 7, Dusty. I know you're a little bit more generous sometimes.
I think it's pretty good. Watch Michael Parsons come downhill. Boom! Zipped his way through the blockers and a big hit.
Parsons, the leading tackler on that defense. 95 stops coming in.
His acceleration, short area quickness, and ability to navigate through blocks really separates him on the football field.
Empty formation for the Tigers on 2nd and 15. They come with a blitz. Parsons caused the fumble. Penn State couldn't grab it, and Memphis recovers. Penn State, keep in mind, folks, they forced 20 fumbles this year. That's the most amongst FBS schools. There's 21.
Well, this is what they do. They bring him up around the line of scrimmage. Watch him just creep. Times up the blitz perfect. Comes completely scot-free. You've got to identify him. Doesn't just get the sack. Gets the ball out. Huge heads-up play by Abina Easy. Starting at right tackle to get on that football. They've got to locate 11 and get him blocked up.
40th sack of the season. Little movement up front against Oway. Taking a shot downfield, intercepted at the 48-yard line by Brisker, but it may come back because of the flag.
Smart play. It's going to be an offsides on 28, Jason Oway.
Offside, defense number 99, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Brady White figured he had a free one there.
Yeah, he jumps here on the initially jump street. That's smart. That's what you do in this type of spot. Recognize that, Brady White. Now you can take your shot over the field. We'll cover two. Safety was over the top. Nice play made there by Jaquan Brisker, but again, Brady White knew he had a free play on his hands.
Yeah. Brady White, who knew his former coach Novrell from his playing days in high school as a sophomore. Followed him here to Memphis. White sacked back at the 6-yard line. Manhandled by Gross Matos. That's his 9.5 sack of the season.
And this guy is a stud in his own right. See him work off the edge. He's going to be inside now. See, they have 11 Micah Parsons in at defensive end, and you get Yetur Gross-Matos working on a guard, just simple chop rip, and the length go-go gadget arm to reach and grab Brady White. Just a phenomenal last 2 seasons, extremely productive, back-to-back first-team All-Big Ten selections. And
on the back, Judge.
That was not a horse collar penalty because he was in the pocket. And he also didn't pull him straight to the ground. So Hamler back near midfield at the Memphis 48. Adam Williams punting in the shadows of his own goalposts. The Lions will get good field position here. And he shanks one out of bounds, shy of the 40-yard line. For a guy who's averaging almost 46 yards per punt on the season, Adam Williams with a very unpropitious effort that time. With 9:01 to go here in the first half.
What we see in college football with guys declaring for the NFL draft, sometimes they don't want to finish the season, don't want to play in the bowl game. Not Yetur Gross-Matos. Big sack there, and he's finishing out his career the right way.
The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, brought to you by AT&T. Capital One, what's in your wallet? The first ever Mazda CX-30, feel alive. And Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem.
Love those grainy black and white images. 1947 snow and ice resulted in a game that saw a 0-0 score between Arkansas and LSU. It will live on in infamy as the Ice Bowl. 68 degrees in here, buddy. I got no problem with this.
I'll take it right here, man. This is as good as it gets for stadiums, right?
Yeah. Old schoolers like to say, that's football weather. This is football weather, too.
This is nice.
On the play action, Clifford under duress, and he's going to be sacked back at the 38-yard line. Penn State with Gates starting field position after that 26-yard punt a moment ago. Wilson with the tackle.
Jonathan Wilson with his second sack already so far in this game. And Sean Clifford wanted to take a deep shot. Had deep over. He was looking for KJ Hamler. Never came clean. Nice rush by the senior Wilson.
Devin Ford in the backfield. Clifford keeps it. Got a blocker in front of him. Hey, don't sleep on Sean Clifford's running ability. Close to the first down. It looks like he got it. And he moves the chains.
This is smart heads-up play here by Sean Clifford. Saw that he had the edge, and then he just navigates his tight end. Says, go, get out in front. Give me a block. Gives him just enough, and nice first down.
16-yard gain on the play. Throws it on the RPO to Freiermuth. Put his feet back. No! Freiermuth ruled out of bounds, shy of the end zone. But you talk about giving somebody smoke. He ran over the defensive back on the play. The defender had no chance. One more look.
Wow. Exact same play. Now they throw it to Freiermuth, and ooh.
Get off me. Gonzalez got leveled, and they run in for the touchdown with Ford. Devin Ford with his 3rd touchdown of the season and the 3rd of his career. And momentum slowly, the pendulum slowly swinging Penn State's way.
Quick strike after the big stop. Bad punt gives Penn State great field position. Did not take them long as they were going up tempo. Tyler Bowen doing exactly what he talked about yesterday with this offense.
The extra point good. A couple of key plays on that 4-play 32-yard drive, using up just 1:14 on the clock. They put on lawn boys. They call them lawn boys because they eat up a lot of grass. But Fryermuth gave Gonzalez. Oh, we put Gonzalez in the weight room. Man. Dusty will break it down after this.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
LSU, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Clemson, a couple of huge games as we get it underway right here with Penn State and Memphis. Big day of college football on ESPN. Penn State with a 21-13 lead, an impressive drive a moment ago. After a quick start by the Tigers, the Nittany Lions with the lead, and on the return out of the end zone is Gibson. They have 3 guys that have brought it back for touchdowns already this year, but not that time.
All right, let's go back and look at the last 2 main plays of this drive. Back-to-back plays, and it's the exact same play with the wrinkle. One, Fryermuth's going to be the blocker, lead up for Clifford in the run game. The next, Fryermuth's going to slip out. They're going to throw him the pass. Exact same play. RPO as the defensive end closes, allows the edge to open up, and you've got options. Quarterback can keep it. He can hit his outlet. Nice job by Sean Clifford getting a nice pickup on the ground, and then rewarding his big tight end with a dump down, and he caps it off with a physical, violent finish on that catch.
Remember Kevin Johns, the play caller today from Memphis. Tyler Bowen, the play caller for Penn State, saw something. Nice slide into about the 17-yard line by quarterback Brady White. Picked up 5. Brady White at Arizona State missed most of the 2016 season and all of the 2017 season at the Sun Devils with a foot injury. Bounce back, having a good closing to his career here at Memphis. That pass complete. Up to the 19-yard line. That's Jones with the catch.
Feels like an important drive here for Memphis. Take a look at Brady White, our player impact rating of a 92. Excellent year. PlayStation player impact rating of 92. Does an outstanding job with this offense.
Taking a shot here one-on-one and incomplete. Boy, they keep trying. John Reed, that time to no avail. Olivia has more on Brady White.
Well, his offensive coordinator, Kevin Johns, told us that all week and really all bowl practices that he's been a different cat, dialed in. He said you can see it in his eyes. I just hope he relaxes game time. Watching him on the sideline, very relaxed. You can tell this guy's a vet, been all over, as you mentioned, and has just gelled with his group this year, especially that offensive line.
It has his guys over for dinner frequently. Takes good care of the guys that take care of him on the field.
False start. Offense number 58. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Well, that's the 2nd time now, Brian Thomas. He was lined up in the backfield earlier. Now it's a false start, making his 1st start of the season. And when you got to go against Shaka Tony, Yetur Gross Matos, you're trying to give yourself any edge advantage you can get. 2nd penalty here in the 1st half.
White has misfired on 6 of his last 7 passes. Completes this one on the receiver screen to Austin. And Calvin Austin brought down right around the line of scrimmage. Not much room there for the dynamic but diminutive receiver. 5'9", brought down by Jaquan Brisker.
Trying to slow down that pass rush, a little wide receiver screen, a tunnel screen, and excellent pursuit to the football by Brisker, the safety back inside for minimal gain. And 3rd and extra long. Pin your ears back and get after the quarterback here.
Watch out for Micah Parsons. White gets rid of it quick. That pass almost intercepted. Brisker was in on the last play. That time got his hand on it. And it's incomplete. 4th down coming up for the Tigers. And they'll punt from deep in their own territory again.
Well, as we'll see, we're going to take a look here at Brady White, and he's telegraphing where he's going with the football. He's looking right here, right now. Brisker is in the throwing lane, continues to expand, reads the quarterback's eyes the entire way, gets a nice pass breakup. Excellent series there by Jaquan Brisker.
KJ Hamler standing at his own 40-yard line. Last time Adam Williams punted, it only went 28 yards. This one much better. Wow, he airmailed that one out of bounds. He didn't quite hit the big screen here at AT&T Stadium, but that's as close as I've seen somebody come today. 21-13, Penn State with the lead. Penn State with a couple guys that are impenetrable up front. Vitor Matos and Parsons. Back after this. 1st and 10 for the Nittany Lions here in the 84th chapter of the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Journey Brown in the backfield on 1st down and 10. Good starting field position for the Nittany Lions. Little trips right formation. KJ Hamler, the inside receiver. They choose to run it. Journey Brown on a splendid journey. So long, room service. Touchdown. The Lawn Boys cut and eat up some more grass. 56 yards on that one.
Vision and a jump cut by Journey Brown, and the burst and speed. No one's going to catch him from Memphis. Nice piece of running once again by Journey Brown.
You saw his speed. You mentioned it, Dusty. He's a former high school sprint champion. Ran a 10.43 in high school. That broke the record by Olympian Leroy Burrell at the time. His 2nd one of the day.
All right, let's take a look at this. They're going to wash everything down, okay? And the safety is going to come down, so there's nobody in the middle of the field. Jump cut here, and the vision by Journey Brown. Everything gets washed, jump cut. No one's in the middle of the field. Safety's already down on the other side. And it's a foot race that Memphis is not going to win with Journey Brown, as my partner just mentioned. Got the track speed, not just the football speed. What a start here in the 1st half for Journey Brown.
And there's the chain, the Lawn Boys chain, that the running backs collectively as a group wear after a touchdown. Lawn Boys, as I explained, because they eat up and cut that grass. They were moving on that one. All they saw was his shoe bottoms. And with 5:51 to go in the 1st half, Dusty, you get the feeling now that this offense has found itself in a big way.
They're starting to establish the line of scrimmage and run the football, and they've really flexed their muscles and become a physically dominant team here in the 1st half.
It'll be 1st down and 10. And coming up on the Mazda halftime report, an in-depth look at today's college football playoff semifinals. Coming up right after this one, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, LSU, Oklahoma. I know you think a lot of people are sleeping on the Sooners just a touch.
I just feel like most people think that they shouldn't even play the game, that LSU is going to win. I would say, as Lee Corso would say, not so fast. Jalen Hurts, Lincoln Riley, we're going to come to play here today in Atlanta.
Penn State on a 21-0 run on the jet sweep. This is Calvin Austin. Boy, he got drilled at the 28. Man, Keaton Ellis hit him at the 29, ended up landing at about the 26. 2nd down and 6 coming up. White on the out, complete to Coxie for the 1st down.
Want to stay up to date? Hey Siri, what bowl games are coming up?
Hey, ask Siri who's going to win those games.
Hey Siri, Who you got today?
White put it into a nice window. The ball came loose. Was it caught in a fumble, or they're going to say that it was a fumble? The spot comes in afterwards, and Memphis, Trice Daniel made the catch.
And how about Kenneth Gainwell? Johnny on the spot, comes flying in. Could have just been detrimental here in the first half if they don't retain possession.
There's one more look, Dusty. Yeah, he had that ball. 2 hands on it, then it came loose.
Comes loose, and look at Kenneth Gainwell just stick his nose in there and find a way to come loose with the ball. Heads up play.
White to the edge, complete to Jones. And Jones pushed out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. Quickly, partner, what does a score mean to Memphis right now?
Everything. They got to stop the bleeding. And as much as anything, keep that defense over there and allow them to rest. They've been on the field quite a bit in the second quarter. The momentum has completely shifted to Penn State. Very important that they cap off this drive with points.
White in the pocket, taking a shot deep. Caught! Coaxey at the 2. A tight fit, but he never quit on it. First and goal. 41 yards on the catch and throw.
Absolute dime delivered there by Brady White. I mean, perfectly placed football for Coaxey. Tight coverage on the edge. Safety's coming over the top. Ball was put in the only place his receiver could make a play on the football. Outstanding throw. And feels like it's going to help save Memphis. Memphis taking their time as they get up to the line of scrimmage.
What a pass by White. You saw that they have a lot of explosive plays on the season.
Watch this throw by Brady White. It's just going to be a go route the entire way. Under pressure.
Yeah, Daniel Joseph was right in his grill.
Safety couldn't quite get over the top, and I mean just an absolute beautiful pass. Concentration through the catch by Coaxey as he gets hit by Brisker on the way down, completes the process of the catch. That's just beautiful offensive football right there. Excellent throw and catch by Brady White, DeMonte Coaxey. And talking with Kevin Johns, he told us they've got a special relationship that they've developed over the last couple of years.
Yeah, and you know, Coaxey had no offers going into his senior year in high school, went to a bunch of camps, showed well. LSU offered, he committed, then decommitted, tore his meniscus at a track meet after his senior year. Memphis was the only one that stayed on him and stayed true and loyal. He decided to go to Memphis. Gainwell in the backfield on first and goal. Gainwell in the carry, and Micah Parsons pushed him out of bounds at about the 2. It almost feels like there's 4 Micah Parsons out there on the field.
Dude can run, man.
He is ubiquitous, man, everywhere.
Speed is the ultimate equalizer on a football field. And instinct, speed, got a little bit of everything. We know how fast and explosive Kenneth Gainwell is. Micah Parsons able to track him down as Gainwell now back in at the Wildcat.
Pound for pound, Parsons the fastest guy in the squad. Can he run down Gainwell here? Gainwell. Touchdown Tigers. He got in. And Memphis stops the hemorrhaging, stops the bleeding on that 21-0 Penn State run with a touchdown there.
I like the pad leverage. Low man wins, right? Even though Kenneth Gainwell is given 40, 50 pounds to Micah Parsons, watch him get low on the hole. Dorcius gets a block, and you see Gainwell get low, finish off the run in the end zone. I think they may want to take a look at this one.
Dorcius, you mentioned, delivered the key block there. Dorcius, a defensive lineman, lining up as a lead blocker on that play. And we're taking a look at this one.
Looked to me like
that angle is not going to give us a bunch of depth perception in terms of the goal line. This one a little bit better.
Good block by Dorsey is kicking out Parsons, and again the pad leverage of Gainwell getting underneath the safety, stretches the ball out. I think instead of guessing here, we'll bring in the expert.
Boy,
football is somewhere in here. Can't exactly tell, and that's...
Well, there must be indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field, which is a touchdown. Dave Kataya, what do you think?
Well, again, you said it, indisputable evidence. To me, it may be short, but I don't see it as 100% in my opinion. We'll see what replay says. It's close.
That it seemed like the Penn State defender's leg was in the way of getting a perfect shot of exactly where the ball was.
Here's the call. A malfunctioning microphone, but we understand the body language and the signal. It's a touchdown, Memphis.
Dusty is exactly what you said. No angle to get that ball directly. It may have been short, but no way can they change that call.
The big play on that drive, the 7-play, 75-yard drive, was the catch by DeMonte Coatsy. It put them in the red zone and in first and goal inside the 5. 41 yards delivered by Brady White, who responded at just the perfect time, just when it seemed like it might be getting away a little bit from Memphis. They counter with a big touchdown with 3:15 to go here in the first half, much to the delight of their throng that have showed up in a big way here at AT&T Stadium.
And one thing, going back to that big play to Coatsy, if you noticed, it was to Keaton Ellis, who's been out there the last couple of possessions in a cornerback. And it's not the fifth-year senior John Reed, who's been locking down Coatsy in those situations all day long. So we haven't seen John Reed here in the last couple of possessions. They've gone with a true freshman, Keaton Ellis. That could be something to watch as this game progresses. You know, that clearly not having a fifth-year senior out there who's their best cover guy and having to insert a true freshman could be a matchup that Memphis looks to continue to go to.
Now, this is a higher scoring game than some of us thought it might be at this point. 48 already on the board with 3:15 to go here in the first half. It's the first ever meeting between these two schools. Ryan Silverfield in the biggest game in school history, a record 12 victories this year against just one defeat. That one defeat, a controversial ending against Temple. And keep in mind, hey, Memphis, we haven't mentioned it much yet, but they're without one of their major weapons, Joey Magnifico, their tight end here today.
An infection in his knee, wasn't able to go, and a big part of not just catching the football, but in the blocking game as well.
Hamler watches it go out the back of the end zone. And now we take a look at this blimp-worthy play brought to you by Goodyear.
Well, the physicality's been on display so far for Penn State. Early in this game, a couple of stiff arms. Journey Brown not going to be denied as he takes into the end zone. How about Fryermuth out in the flats, finishing off that run on Gonzalez, lowering the shoulder. Micah Parsons been all over the field so far in this first half. The physicality been on full display for Penn State.
Ricky Slade in the backfield on first down and 10. He takes the handoff in a burst up the middle. They gash, lacerate that defensive front all the way down to the 30-yard line. Ricky Slade with a big-time run.
Well, they go 4 deep in this running back room, and they like all 4 of their backs. They feel good about every one of them. First time we've seen much of Ricky Slade. Quality cut, speed in the open field.
Slade takes it again. This time picks up about 3 yards. Slade, actually, Dusty, was the original starter in week 1. And here it is again.
Just kind of picks his way there. Nice blocking up front. The Penn State offensive line really starting to settle in. Crease there, and Ricky Slade finds it and hits the accelerator.
Clifford keeps it. And it's going to be about a 3rd down and 3 coming up. Brian Goodson making the tackle. Memphis trying to get a stop here defensively.
Urging the crowd right now to get into this and help them out.
Maybe Slade again picks up the first down inside the 20-yard line down to the 18. It's interesting to hear Coach James Franklin talk about the unique nature of his team this year. They've been really together. Great chemistry Slade again inside the 15 to the 14. Meanwhile, on the other side of the field, Dusty, Ryan Silverfield in his first appearance. What do you make of the way things have gone for his first appearance so far?
Well, he had him ready to play. They came out and put up 184 yards in the first half. And here in the second quarter, Penn State offensively has really found a groove, especially on the ground.
Clifford keeps it. And they try to strip it away, but he's down first at the 12-yard line. 1:20 to go. Penn State with its full complement of 3 timeouts remaining. Memphis with 2. And the Nittany Lions are going to burn one here.
Timeout will be 30 seconds.
You know, you look at quarterback Sean Clifford. It has been a turbulent and tumultuous season at times for him. A big tipping point was that loss against Minnesota, Dusty. And in the wake of that loss, a lot of controversy. He received death threats, shut down his social media. He took comfort in his teammates. Then the next day of practice, it was amazing to hear and see how he rallied his teammates and got them back to the spirit where they needed to be to finish off strong this year.
And they stepped up and had a great game offensively against Indiana. Sign of a true leader. And for any of those people on social media that want to come at a college kid for playing a game not to the level that they feel he needs to be at, it's ridiculous. And we got no place for it. So glad that Clifford was able to respond in the right way.
3rd and 4. His game doing the talking, running it now. It is. Feet came loose. The ball came loose. And we heard a whistle. Chris Claybooks recovered it for the Tigers, but the play blown dead. Let's see where they spot this. Here's a good look at it.
Definitely down.
Yeah.
Knee down, elbow down.
Yeah.
Ball comes out way late.
First down. The clock will start on my signal.
He's got some toughness to him, Jonesy.
Yes.
His ability to run the football. It's a part of this offense with the RPO, over 100 carries on the season. Not afraid to get those tough physical yards.
On the play fake into the end zone, he wisely throws it away. Nick Bowers, the closest receiver, the backup tight end. It'll be 2nd and goal.
He loves his tight ends in the red zone. Between Bowers, Freiermuth, 10 touchdowns accounted for by these tight ends. And when they get in this area, look for them to go to 83 or 87 quite frequently.
Keep in mind, Tyler Bowen is calling the plays as the team's offensive coordinator today.
Well covered down the field by Memphis.
9th play of the drive coming up for Penn State. 1:04 to go in the first half. Clifford keeps it inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and goal. J.J. Russell making the tackle.
Timeout.
Rather conservative call that time. And James Franklin pondering their next move. Oh, what kind of? Tell me about the mustache, bro. Tell me about the mustache.
What you talking about? You talking about Brady White?
Yeah, his mustache. He got a little shadow too. What's with the quarterbacks?
Oh, I mean, come on. Look at that. That's Raleigh finger style right there.
That's manicured.
That's fantastic.
You just don't wake up and get that kind of mustache. I mean that.
Oh no, you put some work and effort into that. Brady White rallying the troops over the side. I'm a little interesting to me that Penn State elected to use a timeout there. I'm surprised. Surprised they didn't take this down further. It actually helps Memphis because now they've got time left on the clock. 2 timeouts. Depending on what happens here, potentially they could try to make a late strike here before halftime. Big call for Tyler Bowen.
Ricky Slade in the backfield.
Freiermuth down here. Love him in the red zone.
He looks to his left. Fires. Dotson. Touchdown. Tyler Bowen dials up a big one. And the Nittany Lions with another score. For Dotson, that's his 5th touchdown receiving of the season.
Inside receiver screen. Watch the block by 87 Freiermuth. Locks in, and then he buries the Memphis defender in the end zone. Helps spring that Dotson touchdown. Excellent execution. You got to love the play call there by the tight ends coach, playing coordinator today, Tyler Bowen.
And Freiermuth, a couple of times today, has made Memphis feel him, like in a big way, physically. Under a minute to go here in the first half. Extra point good by Jake Pinniger. They've turned this into Happy Valley South. I don't see the Nittany Lion Inn anywhere. I don't see University Avenue anywhere, or some of the landmarks, but Coach James Franklin and his team feeling very much at home here in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. 55 combined points in the first half, a Cotton Bowl record. I was remarking just a moment ago that I'm not sure that many people expected this many points this early, Dusty.
Penn State's really found their rhythm. Memphis early on in this game or having their way moving the football. It seems like Memphis had a huge answer with that previous touchdown, and Penn State goes right down the field and gets yet another touchdown before the end of this half. And I think it's their ability on the ground. 209 yards rushing here in the first half for Penn State that separated them.
And a little bit of smash ball. Antonio Gibson back deep for this kick for Memphis. Tigers with a record 12 wins this year and a lot of resolve. Gibson watches it go over his head. Bowl season. Okay, we got this one. We got the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl coming up next, and then more to follow. Dusty, when the dust settles, is it too early for me to ask you who's going to win this thing?
We got to keep them. We got to keep them. You know, drag them along a little bit. Look, I think both games are going to be a great game. I do think the best two teams are playing in Arizona today in the Fiesta Bowl. I think Clemson, Ohio State, most talented football teams. I'm going to say the winner of that's going to, in my opinion, go on and win the national title. But I really think Oklahoma's going to give LSU a heck of a ball game in Atlanta today.
Brady White slings it complete to Coaxey. Picks up the first down, a gain of 12. I like the fact that you hit on it earlier. We've seen guys like Yetur Gross-Matos, a guy with a lot at stake in his future, his NFL draft stock, actually playing, deciding to finish out with his teammates. Coaxey with another reception and corralled at the 40-yard line.
And, you know, I've come around. This is a business decision for these young men. If they opt and say, you know what, I don't want to play in the bowl game, I've done enough, I can respect that. But I'm sure going to praise the guys that want to finish their season the right way and go out and end their career with their teammates on the field of play. Big tip of the cap to Yetur Gross-Matos out here already with a sack in this first half.
That's a personal choice. That pass almost intercepted. Was it? Incomplete. Micah Parsons with great dexterity in his hands to almost come up with an interception there. I'm not sure you could have pulled this off as a defensive lineman, Dusty.
Oh, no chance.
It did bounce. Incomplete. Gave it a shot, though.
John Reed is back in the game up top and at quarterback. Referenced earlier, he was out of the game for a couple of possessions.
Empty formation. White stepping up, nowhere to go. Buying a little bit more time. And finds his receiver. That's Gibson. And Gibson enough for the first round. Boy, a very resourceful Brady White gets 14 on the play.
Cool, calm, collected. Nothing open initially. Buying himself time. He's under duress, but he doesn't panic. Keeps his eyes down the field, and it's a nice completion for a first down.
Has a 6th year of eligibility next year if he wants it. Going to ponder his future after this. That pass complete at about the 41-yard line. That was Coaxey again, his favorite target on the afternoon.
Riley Patterson, the kicker, has made a 52-yarder this season, so they're getting closer and closer to his range. It actually hit 2 kicks this year at 52 yards, so not far out of the range of the kicker, Riley Patterson.
2nd and 3. They're going to move quickly here into a tight window. Caught miraculously by Samuel. And with 6 seconds to go, they're going to burn one of their 2 remaining timeouts. You know what could have been for Memphis? Maybe a perfect season, if not for one play, one very controversial call and ending in a game against Temple. This is what it looked like.
And I'm going to try not to freak out too much. Dave Katai's
It's too late.
He's going to keep me calmed down. But I think this is crazy. Magnifico makes an unbelievable play on 4th and 9. That was ruled a catch on the field. They go to replay and overturn it. Dave!
I'm not going to make you freak out anymore.
It's
okay?
too late.
All right. It could have hit the ground. It's possible to hit the ground. But in my opinion, remember what we said earlier on that play out of bounds? It's got to be 100%. In my mind, it's not 100% from what I'm seeing.
Gotcha. Magnifico, as we mentioned earlier, not playing in this game. Riley Patterson going to attempt this field goal from 51 yards out. And Penn State is going to try and put him on ice. Timeout.
So let's go back to that, Dave, because, I mean, if the ruling on the field would have been incomplete, I could understand if they would have said, okay, you know, we're going to stick with the call on the field because there's not a definitive look. But the fact that it was ruled a completion and there's no definitive look that the ball touches the ground, there is the bobble, but we never see ball touch ground. It just surprises me that they overturned the call on the field without what I would call a definitive look at.
Well, the rule is that the call on the field is assumed correct unless you have 100% video evidence that it isn't. Well, it's snap.
Well, back to the field. They pulled the place kicker, Riley Patterson, off the field with 8 seconds to go. White completes it, got to get out of bounds. Gainwell steps out of bounds. Boy, they're cutting it close. 3 seconds to go, but they bought up a little bit more real estate there.
You know what? That's a big spot for Ryan Silverfield. He played it perfect, right? He said, you know what? We got 8 seconds left. I've got a timeout in my pocket. Plus, I can get the ball out on the perimeter, maybe get out of bounds, give his kicker a little bit less distance on his field goal attempt. Well done by the, not first year, but first game head coach and Ryan Silverfield, trying to tack on a little bit of points before we hit the break.
Now in comes first team all AAC kicker Riley Patterson, attempting this one from 44. He's connected from 48 and 37 already. And a perfect day for him so far. He's made his last 13 in a row. The margin down to just 12 now. It's a 12-point lead. The Stars have emerged and made a big showing here today so far. In the first ever meeting between Memphis and Penn State. You're watching the 2019 Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. You're watching the 2019 Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic from Arlington, Texas, AT&T Stadium. Back for the second half of play, the group of 5 representative from Memphis taking on the Big Ten's Penn State Nittany Lions, who have the lead right now, 35-23. As we get ready to take a look at the AT&T's best performance, Dusty, the Quasars, the Stars really came out today.
We told you about the Stars before the game, and they have stepped up and shown out. How about Brady White in that first half? 251 yards. He's halfway to 500. Kenneth Gainwell making people miss. Devontae Coxey, 6 catches, 109 yards, his 11th 100-yard game of his career. And on the other side, Yetur Gross-Matos, we've talked about him quite a bit. He had a sack. KJ Hamler, the speed is off the charts. And Micah Parsons, what can I say but wow. 10 tackles, 2 for a loss, and a sack. The Stars have come out here in Arlington.
Folks, if you think that this game is over, it's not, because this Memphis team is one of the top 10 offenses in the entire country. They've shown in the first half, Dusty, they can put points up. They've had a bunch of explosive plays. They're going to get the ball here to start the third quarter. What do you expect to see from them?
They're going to have to continue to go up top, right? Make some explosive plays. They have not been able to establish the line of scrimmage and run the football on the stingy front 7 of Penn State. So it's going to be up to that man, Brady White, who has stepped up to challenge time and time again throughout the course of the season. I like the way he's extended plays, kept his eyes down the field, and located targets for some big chunk plays. 3 plays of 40-plus yards in that first half alone.
That last touchdown they scored before the end of the half was huge. as Olivia had a moment to spend with Coach Silverfield. What did he have to say, Olivia?
Well, he told his guys in the locker room, you have 30 minutes to make your legacy. No pressure, right? And one of those guys he's talking to is receiver Antonio Gibson. He actually went into the locker room before halftime, only had 3 touches on offense in the first half. Remember, he was the American Championship game MVP. Coach Silverfield told me he's fine, and they want to get him more touches, get him more involved in the second half.
I love that, Olivia. It's a great point. Antonio Gibson, they rode him down the stretch of the season. Got to get him touches, whether it's as a running back or receiver, here at the remainder of this game.
On the kick, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Memphis Tigers, and Brady White at quarterback. This is a team that has a lot of ordnance, a lot of weapons offensively. White through the air, Gainwell, Coxie, and Gibson. Gibson, the late emerging star in the last 3 or 4 games of the regular season. And Coxie taking his brother to the field each and every time, Gainwell taking his brother to the field each and every time he steps between the lines. On the pass, out to the 28-yard line. You know, Gainwell has a brother that went to the University of Southern Mississippi, suffered a stroke. And while he was lifting weights is when it happened. He's been on the road to recovery over the last several years, and his family means everything to him. His brother was hoping to walk on at University of Southern Mississippi. Won't be able to do that. Here's White. In his own words, here's what he had to say.
It's just making me want to go harder, harder. Every drive, every play, every game, no matter how hard it was, he was always there.
It's goosebumps,
yeah,
right there. Plays for his brother, and we got a special relationship. And as you mentioned, here's to a speedy recovery for him.
3rd down and 3. First drive of the 3rd quarter. Pass complete for the first down on the quick slant to DeMonte Coxie. Picks up 11 yards. And a good start here on this opening drive of the second half.
I like the poise of Brady White in the pocket. Watch Gross Matos. He's going to come off the edge here. He's going to be a free hitter. Brady White just doesn't even bother with it. Knows he's got the slant inside. Finds his target, Coxie. Doesn't worry about the rush. Picks up a big first down.
Empty formation. 4 receivers out to the top of your screen. White looking that way. Completes the pass out to midfield. It's Gainwell still on his feet. Still on the move, and Gainwell spins down to the 26-yard line. That one's for you, big brother. 30 yards.
Versatility, such a good pass catcher out of the backfield, all alone in the flats, and you get this guy in the open field, he's going to make you miss. Big-time play here coming out of the half for Kenneth Gainwell.
That one was for his brother, Curtis Gainwell. 1st down and 10 from the 26. On the reverse, and the throw. White open. Some trickery. Brady White lunging just short of the end zone. Kadarian Jones with the pass to the quarterback. How do you like me now?
Kevin Jones, the offensive coordinator, he's leaving it all on the field. Little reverse pass throw back to Brady White, who sneaks out in the flats. Nobody's there. Gets tripped up prior to the end zone. What a start for Memphis coming out of the half.
You talked about how important that misdirection was going to be against this Penn State defense. Dorsey is in the backfield now, the lead blocker as they line up out of the eye. White keeps him. Dorsey is with a push from behind. Signal, not yet. Touchdown. The Tigers punch it in. Brady White with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season and the 5th of his career. And Silverfield had that Penn State defense on its heels during that opening drive here in the 3rd quarter. Patterson in for the extra point. Hey, we told you a moment ago, this is a team that is very combustible offensively. And Brent Pry trying to get his troops together defensively to regroup.
I don't know what Ryan Silverfield said at halftime, but they've come out inspired. Sweep, we'll toss it back. Jones is going to find a wide open Brady White. Misdirection. Penn State never saw it. And then Brady White caps it off with a sneak for a touchdown. Could not have scripted a better start to this second half for the Memphis Tigers.
They've got playmakers, and sometimes they turn their quarterback into a wideout.
Be careful now. Get a little headbutt on the shoulder pad. Easy, Brady. He's having a heck of a ball game here so far.
And you look back to the end of the second quarter, and what they've done here, this is a team that's regained its footing. Little over exuberant, Dusty.
Easy. Oh. Forgot I didn't have my helmet on.
Brady White had thrown 33 touchdowns coming into the game this afternoon. Still yet to decide whether he'll come back for his 6th and final year. That's right, he's been granted an extra year because, as I mentioned earlier, back at Arizona State, he missed most of the 2016 season and all of the 2017 season with a foot injury. First and 10 for the Nittany Lions. There's a very special indigenous quality and characteristic about folks from Memphis. If you've ever been there, folks, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Ryan Silverfield talked about this and told us about the t-shirt that he wears from time to time. Memphis versus everybody. Basically, it's us against the world. His message to his team yesterday: what we have in this room is all that matters. Nothing else matters. And they've showed up here to start this second half.
On the pass, incomplete, not even close. Good heat up front from O'Brien Goodson. He was right in the grill of quarterback Sean Clifford.
And Clifford took a shot, working that right shoulder. Excellent inside pressure. The junior defensive tackle Goodson up the field. And slams Clifford to the turf.
2nd and 10. Clifford got it off in time. Intercepted by Austin Hall. Big time play for Austin Hall. His 2nd interception of the season. Couldn't have come at a better time, Dusty.
Wow, what a play by Austin Hall, the 5th-year senior, former walk-on. Watch him right here. He's going to read the quarterback's eyes. He knows they're going to K.J. Hamler, undercuts the route, and a huge interception to get Memphis the football back in great territory. They are going to take a look at this to confirm that it was a catch.
That's the first turnover of the game if it stands. And a dejected quarterback on the sideline, Sean Clifford.
That's just a smart football play by Austin Hall. The Memphis Defensive Player of the Year.
That looks like an interception.
That definitely looks like an interception to me, Dave Kataya.
Dave Kataya, what do you think?
Well, the 2 angles we've seen so far, I don't see anything that tells me that ball hit the ground. Here's another angle. Let's take a look at this and see what happens. Hands are under the ball right now. Let's see if the ball moves at all. It hits the ground. Right there. This is a catch.
Yeah, after further review, the ruling on the field of an interception is confirmed. First down.
Dave Kataya, your brethren, confirming that for us. And Memphis in great striking territory here at the 29-yard line.
James Franklin, a little bit rattled here coming out of the second half. And with Ryan Silverfield, in his first game as a head coach, must have been quite the halftime speech, Jonesy, because this Tiger team has come out on fire.
Olivia said earlier that he told his team, I need passion, but it needs to be controlled. Patrick Taylor in the backfield, 1st and 10 for the Tigers. And this time, White brought down back near the 40. Mustipher with the sack that time. Not many options on that play for Brady White.
Well, P.J. Mustipher comes through clean, almost unblocked. Brady White nowhere to go with the football, kind of takes the sack there. Nice play by the big defensive tackle to slow Memphis's roll here.
Loss of 9 on the play. Wide on the shuffle pass. That's going to be number 14, Antonio Gibson. Guy that was key in their last couple of games. He picks up 10. So it'll be 3rd down, about 9 to go. Brown making the tackle.
I love this play. Roll to the right, get full flow that way by the defense, and then slip Gibson in underneath, and a little shovel pass. Get their playmakers touches in unique, different ways. We continue to see it, and that's Antonio Gibson getting a much-needed touch here in the second half.
A little movement on the offensive line on that right tackle spot. Looked like it was easy, or Windsor might have jumped first. We'll see.
It's a false start.
False start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Well, being easy, the perpetrator.
Well, I can tell you it ain't easy when you're going against this defensive line.
Yeah.
And you're so mindful and thinking about the speed they have off the edge. Right, you want to give yourself 3rd and 9 situation. You know, defensive end, he's thinking, I'm coming to get the quarterback. I'm going to get that big first step. So that offensive tackle, now all of a sudden, he's trying to get, trying to beat that snap, time it up perfect, so he can give himself an opportunity against a bad man like that, Yetur Gross-Matos.
At one time, he was actually offered by Alabama during his recruitment. You see that club on his left hand. 3rd and 14. They're going to get to the 19-yard line. Play clock. Down to 7. Empty formation, 5 receivers. White down the sideline. Coatsy won't even have a shot. Well defended by John Reed, who has been staunch today. Back to Gross-Matos and that injured left hand that he's been playing with for several weeks now. Doesn't seem to be impacting him negatively on the field, Dusty.
No, especially with his pass rush. And hey, man, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to play. And this guy plays with unbelievable effort, high motor. That's excellent job down the field again by 29 John Reed, man-to-man coverage with Coatsy.
This is from 51. Oof. And it's a 2-point game. That is a Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic record for distance. 51 yards. We got a ball game, folks. What a great way to end the decade for Memphis. They flipped the script on their story and continuing to write some prosperous chapters.
Welcome back to AT&T Stadium. Standing beside me is Pro Football Hall of Famer Isaac Bruce, former Memphis Tiger. Now, watching this Tiger team develop, grow, build in the last 5 years or so, and now playing in a New Year's Six game, what's that like to watch as an alum?
Well, it's special. It gives myself and along with my former player teammates an opportunity to be on a stage like this. It's a phenomenal event, a great game, and hopefully we can pull it off.
You're one of 3 Memphis receivers to eclipse 1,000 yards in the season. One of them is on this field. Demonte Coatsy tonight, already with 100. What do you like about his game?
Well, he's been a big playmaker for us all year long. I mean, he's big, he's athletic, can run. He attacks the football in the air, and I think he has a chance on the next level.
Isaac, you did something really cool this week. You gave 3 tickets away to the Memphis Boys and Girls Club for their family, for their flights and the hotel stay. Why is that so important for you to involve local kids in this big experience?
I think it's important in our culture, what we do with our tithe that we put away every 3rd year. So I want to be a blessing, be a beacon of light to the younger kids, and plus I'm a Boys and Girls Club alum, so I want to just reach out and bless someone for during these holidays.
Incredible story, incredible message. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Back to you, Mark.
Awesome work there by Isaac Bruce, being a blessing to so many different people. On the cutback, this is Journey Brown. Ends up about 2 yards shy of the first down. Greatest show on turf, Isaac Bruce, man.
Oh, him and Torrey Holt.
Yep.
They could absolutely roll. Well done there by Olivia. And very cool what Isaac Bruce has been doing. Anthony Miller, 2nd round pick a couple years ago with the Bears.
Johnny Brown still on its feet, broke a tackle across midfield, all the way down to the 45-yard line. Penn State moving quickly here.
It's just a simple inside zone. They're getting so much wash. The cutback is right there. And the vision of Journey Brown and explosiveness. A couple of quality runs.
Quick 20 yards for Journey Brown. And this time he's going to be sacked to put it on the ground. Sean Clifford fumbled it, but Penn State got it back. Morris Joseph made the tackle and subsequently caused the fumble on the play. So they're going to move the ball all the way back to Penn State's side of midfield at the 49.
See him right here working. Other side, swims inside the guard, 74. He's able to beat Steven Gonzalez with an inside move. Excellent job by Morris Joseph.
Did not get off before the snap. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It was a nice pass rush, but it was all for naught.
How about that?
Illegal substitution. That's part of Penn State's plan, though, right?
Yep.
To go fast. They were going at warp speed right now, and Memphis trying to get a substitution in and didn't do it quick enough.
Makes it 1st and 5. Between the tackles again, this is Noah Kane. They continue to really lacerate that defensive front. Mark Jones chopping it up with Dusty Dvorak, Olivia Decker down on the field. And this is the 84th edition of the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. First ever meeting between Penn State and Memphis. Penn State with a tenuous lead and a determined run by Noah Kane.
He's a tough runner.
You could feel it up here in the booth, Dusty.
I mean, let's go ahead and listen in and feel it for ourselves.
He put his hand down.
You better wrap up when you come to tackle Noah Kane. A tough running back to tackle, a true freshman.
Gets it again here. Kane picks up about 4 more as they continue to just roll up their sleeves and pound away. We'll have a special Sunday night NBA matchup for you right here on ESPN and the app. KP Porzingis and your Mavericks, Dusty. Staples Center taking on the Lakers at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific time. Lakers coming off that loss Christmas Day against the Clippers. And speaking of losses, Sean Clifford sacked back at the 18-yard line on the play by Everett Cunningham. So you think your Mavs are actually going to top 4 seed in the West?
I hope so. You tell me, you're Mr. NBA.
No, you're the Mavericks guy, though.
Hey,
I say yes.
I like what Luke is doing.
Outstanding. Good to see him back in action.
Huge tackle for loss by Everett Cunningham. Backing up Penn State. Setting up 3rd and long here. We haven't heard from 55 Bryce Huff in a while. He was beaten up on the right tackle, Will Fries. See if he can get some pressure in a big 3rd down.
They got to get down to the 7-yard line. Clifford goes into the end zone. In coverage. Contact. Flag. He went for Hamler. And that's going to be a hold, well, on Fries as well.
It's the exact matchup that I talked about. Bryce Huff.
2 fouls on the play.
3.
Holding offense number 71. Pass interference defense number 32. Those fouls will offset. We'll replay 3rd down.
Okay, let's do it again.
Was the exact matchup I talked about. 71 Will Fries. And one thing he doesn't do great, he doesn't bend his knees and deal with somebody who can really dip the edge. And that's what Bryce Huff does. That was the hold there. And then clearly what looks like pass interference by Jacoby Francis. Gets there early. Did you see here? Grabs him, wraps him up. Would have been an easy sack. And now we'll do it over on 3rd down.
3rd and 10. On the out, complete for the first down. Lunging, the ball came loose. But George was down first at the 1-yard line, and there's another piece of linen down on the field.
Well, it's a hold on 71 Will Fries, because now Huff beats him with an inside move.
71 offense, 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
See, when you beat an offensive tackle with speed, now you can counter and come back inside. Bryce Huff is putting on a show here with his pass rush ability. Watch him work off the edge. Come here, and he's going to come back inside. Gets that tackle to overcommit, and Will Fries has nothing he can do but hold on to prevent the sack.
Had a whole bunch of jersey. I want to ask you about that knee bend, or lack thereof, by Will Fries. He's been central in the last couple of plays. Clifford gets it off. Jarred loose. Memphis bringing that heat right now. Big hit by Tim Hart.
Playing with a lot of heart out there.
Heart stopper.
Wow, that drive just stalled out on Penn State. We're running right down Memphis's throat, trying to get the screen out there. Ooh.
Hamler took a hit. He got rocked, and now they're going to try a field goal from 45 yards out. This Memphis team playing inspired here in the early part of the third quarter. Pinniger in to attempt this field goal. He's 10 of 11 on the season. This one from 45. And he makes it. Jake Pinniger knocks it through to make it a 5-point Nittany Lion lead. James Franklin getting his team riled up. And the first-time head coach doing a nice job so far.
The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, brought to you by the Nachos Party Pack from Taco Bell. And Northwestern Mutual. Spend your life living.
1954, you got to love the sequence of shots there. Tommy Lewis coming off the bench to make the tackle in that Cotton Bowl game. The touchdown eventually rewarded, but the whole incident led the now famous or infamous Lewis to say, "I just lost my composure and I tackled her." I mean, you come off the sidelines to make a tackle.
Talk about a 12th man. Jeez.
You ever had the urge?
No.
No? Not even high school, little league, nothing? Come off the... No?
I mean, look, I'm not trying to get flagged and get yelled at. You know what I mean? I do that enough within the course of the game.
Okay.
How about this game we have on our hands so far? Man.
Down to a tenuous 5-point advantage for Penn State. Brady White with a hot hand when we come back to AT&T Stadium. Laird Veach, the athletic director, asked the players to write on cards what they wanted in the coach. The common denominator that kept coming up, the word, was someone who was passionate, and that's what Ryan Silverfield has in spades, in a big way. A guy that has spent years coaching in college, 6 years in the NFL. His influences include Leslie Frazier with the Minnesota Vikings, amongst others. Antonio Gibson with the catch and run, still on his feet. An invariable, inexorable effort that time by Gibson for 14 yards.
Listen, JUCO running back Antonio Gibson played receiver most of the year. They started putting him a running back. They just had to give him the football, and they noticed he's tough to tackle. Guys just bounce off of him, as you saw there in the nice pickup.
Good time play. Hand up into the boundary. Patrick Taylor close to that first down marker. You talk about guys coming back for that final year of school. Patrick Taylor, another one of those guys, got a third, fourth round maybe evaluation from the NFL's advisory board last year. Wanted to come back this year and finish things out with his teammates, and he's playing in this bowl game. It didn't quite work out for him because of that injury that forced him to miss 8 games. But he's healthy now. That pass incomplete. A flag thrown on the play. It was intended for Jones. John Reed, the DB, in coverage.
Reed's pleading his case.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 45 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Back to your point on Patrick Taylor. You know, what I think is really cool, like you said, he came back for a big senior year. He was finally going to be the guy. They had the likes of Darrell Henderson, Tony Pollard. He waited his turn, though he was still a 1,000-yard rusher. But this was his year. Has the foot injury, misses 8 games, but he was right there helping Kenneth Gainwell. Right there being a leader and still being a part of this team.
Sometimes the great karma you create as being a great teammate comes back for you and works for you. That pass complete to Gainwell, the guy that emerged after Taylor's early season injury. Hey, the college football playoff semifinals today on ESPN and the app. Heisman winner Joe Burrow, #1 LSU, taking on #4 Oklahoma in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl at 4, 1 Pacific. Then #2 Ohio State against #3 Clemson in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Winners play for the national championship Monday, January 13th on ESPN. White has completed 16 of his last 18, but they line up in the Wildcat. That's going to be Gainwell plowing his way forward. Letting him know it's a first down, Dusty.
Showcasing versatility. He's a receiver the last play on a deep out. Now he's a Wildcat quarterback, and he runs a counter right between the tackles. The way they utilize and get creative to get Kenneth Gainwell different touches all over the field is just remarkable. Well done by Kevin Johns, the offensive coordinator.
10-yard gain on the play.
Now he's up in the slot.
Right out of the shotgun. Slings it complete. About a yard shy of the first down. Gainwell again, you know, interesting recruiting story with Gainwell. He had committed to Memphis, and then his main recruiter, Coach Dan Lanning, left for Georgia. But Gainwell remained resolved and resolute to come to Memphis and make his mark, and he's certainly done that. And it would have been easy to open up his recruitment again. They run the ball to Gainwell, and he's going to end up about a yard short. What's the expectation for him, do you think, next year when you look at Taylor not being there?
I think he's going to continue to do what he does. Again, this offense, and with Tony Pollard, they did similar things. Line him up all over the field, utilize his skill set, and when you have a guy like Kenneth Gainwell, who's got such an array of qualities, you can get creative and find different ways to utilize him. So I'd expect more of the same. He's gone over 2,000 yards on the season, and a big third down here, and he's on the sideline.
They bring in their big back, Patrick Taylor. He gets the toss. Got Dorcius ahead of him. And a group of blockers to pick up the first down. They move the chains with 4:19 to go in the third quarter. And with a touchdown perhaps on this drive, would be able to take the lead.
Isn't that the definition of great compliments? A 1-2 punch, but you know, thunder, lightning. You got Gainwell going to make you miss. Got the quicks, and then you put in the 6'3", 230-pound NFL-style running back to get you the tough, hard-nosed yards you need. And now Taylor back in at Wildcat.
Gainwell getting a breather. Taylor going to take it around the left end, going to throw it with his on the move, and Jones was the intended receiver, incomplete. So that pass incomplete. Patrick Taylor, you know, in all the film, I'll be honest, and we've watched a lot, I haven't seen that. Coaches didn't.
He can throw it a little bit. Got that lefty little wing. But that's the thing, is that you run this Wildcat so much, it's a nice little wrinkle, right? Because now the defense is playing you that they're thinking it's all run. All of a sudden somebody could sneak out. Maybe they come back to it.
More empty formation here. Coaxey split to the bottom of your screen. Taylor in motion. Now sets. Downfield, incomplete. Tried the back shoulder fade to Coaxey, who was being covered by Keaton Ellis. And we're looking at a 3rd down and 10 coming up.
And that's one of his favorite routes. Coaxey's so good at that back shoulder, adjusting to the football. Some misfire there by Brady White. Wanted to get the ball out quick, negate the pass rush. Wasn't quite able to locate his favorite target, Coaxey, on the near side.
Here we go, 3rd down and 10.
Pass rush package. Parsons in at D and Gross Matos in over the guard. Speed package.
Keep an eye on number 11. They're coming. Didn't get to him. Tipped up. And incomplete. Batted by Shaka Toney, number 18. Got those hands high up in the air, Dusty. And it brings up a 4th and 10. Good play.
Yeah, Shaka Toney's just going to drop out. Okay, zone blitz. They're going to bring the backer, drop the defensive end. Drops right over the quarterback, gets in his vision, and as you mentioned, gets his hand in the way. Excellent pass deflection. Brent Pry bringing a little zone pressure there. And Shaka Toney, haven't called his name very much today, but big play there on 3rd and long.
Patterson has made field goals from 48, 37, 44, and 51 today, which was a bowl record. This one from 41, and that's his 5th, which is a bowl record 5 total. They inch a little bit closer for Ryan Silverfield. Penn State's defense holding him to a field goal. Taco Bell is bringing the best of the regular season to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic by creating the Live Más student section. Today they're picking up the tab for students from each school so that these passionate fans can cheer on their teams. from here to University Park, Penn State, and all the way down to Beale Street at the Blues City Cafe. They're making a little bit of noise down there in Memphis. Their team down just 2 right now. And Penn State going to take the touchback.
You mentioned Beale Street. What a scene that was for College Game Day, to get a chance to go to an American school, put Beale Street, Memphis on display, showcase the city, the passionate fan base. That was a fantastic College Game Day.
When you think about what it took for the Tigers to get there, too, that tipping point, that escape against Tulsa on a last-second field goal that went awry for Tulsa. They survived that, Memphis did, and the rest is kind of history for Memphis. 12 wins, a school record. Game day down on Beale Street. This is Journey Brown taking another trip into the secondary, all the way down to the 30-yard line. They just gashed that front again. Ripped it wide open.
Journey Brown. I mean, watch the explosiveness through the hole. Big hole opens up off the right side. That's the center, Michael Minute. 69, the right guard. C.J. Thorpe, huge hole in the acceleration and burst there from Journey Brown.
44 yards on that previous run. This one goes for 3. But they have gotten big chunks against that Memphis front. There have been on several occasions yawning holes where the running back, this time Journey Brown, other times Noah Kane, going through almost untouched. 2nd and 7. Sean Clifford out of the shotgun. Pass dropped by Daniel George.
George started to run before he caught the football. Far sideline, he was turning upfield, trying to get yards after the catch instead of doing his first job securing the catch. Sets up a 3rd and long, going quick.
Got to get to the 21-yard line. Journey Brown in the backfield. Hamler, the inside receiver, to the bottom of your screen. As Journey Brown out of the backfield, got a block and tripped up about a yard short of the 1st down. Got a good block by Hamler, but an even better tackle by J.J. Russell defensively for the Tigers. 4th and short, the offense on the field, they're going to go for it.
With the way they've run the football, it's got to go to Journey Brown.
11-16 on 4th down so far this year. Clifford hands it off. Not sure they're going to make it. The Tigers roaring. The bigger cats on that play were from Memphis. A helpless look etched across the countenance of James Franklin. Helpless. His team coming up short there, it looked like.
Well, Penn State's offensive line has been whipping Memphis up front in the run game. Not this time. Look at the penetration up front by Goodson. He starts to pile, and then it's 10. Morris Joseph gets off the block. Nowhere for Journey Brown to go. They needed a stop, and man, did they get a key stop on 4th and short. James Franklin not happy with his offensive line's inability to get any push and get that 1st down.
From the 21. 1st and 10 for Brady White.
Gibson in the backfield with Gainwell.
Motion Gibson out. Handed off to Gainwell with nowhere to go. He's going to lose about 3 or 4 yards. Antonio Shelton making the tackle. Remember coming into this ball game that all of the Memphis coaches knew the stat that Penn State gives up 2.8 yards per rush, which is the best in the nation. How gaudy a number is that, Dusty?
It's gaudy, and they actually hold them under that so far here today.
White completes it out to the 23. That's Gainwell. Working against Trent Gordon. Clock running with 1:05 to go.
Big third down here. Complete, new, fresh defensive line. It's one thing Penn State loves to do, rotate defensive linemen. It's a great line from Brent Pry. He said, we rotate to keep fresh bodies, keep the pedal on the offensive line for 4 quarters.
I see Gross Matos lining up right over the center there, Dusty. Carson's also on the field. They blitz right. He fumbles it. He gives it away. Do you believe that? Holy cow! Wow! Garrett Taylor off the fumble caused by Micah Parsons. Ridiculous.
I told you from the onset, and I told you guys the last few days, next year he'll be the best defensive player in college football. And he has put on a show so far here today. 3rd and long situation. Brent Pry dials up a blitz. Nobody accounts for Micah Parsons. He doesn't just get there to get the sack. Sack fumble. Garrett Taylor in perfect position. And a Penn State defensive touchdown. Exactly what they needed.
An incredible shift of fortune in favor of the Nittany Lions. And there's the catalyst right there. Number 11, Micah Parsons, forcing the fumble on Brady White.
What's a crossfire stunt? We're going to watch right here. He's going to come here. He's going to come here. Jan Johnson goes one way. Parsons comes the other. It opens right up. No one accounts for him. You see the closing speed. The right arm comes up as he gets the football out. And Garrett Taylor says, thank you very much. What a play.
There's Parsons. See number 11? You need to move over on that man crush and make some room for me. He's pretty good.
Hey, you guys have been making fun of me the last couple of days. Start watching tape, and I've fallen in love with players. This guy is
All-American for a reason, folks.
Real deal.
First sophomore to make it All-American since LeVar Arrington. He of the same number, 11. And that'll make your defensive coordinator really happy. Brent Pry right there with big smiles after that play. Still just a 9-point game, though, with 38 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Well, Wild Card Weekend begins January 4th, and we'll broadcast our game simultaneously on ESPN and ABC for the 5th straight year. With a matchup, day and time determined after Week 17's games. You can always watch it live on the ESPN app from anywhere. We'll be watching number 11, Micah Parsons, in the league pretty soon. You're gonna have to wait a year.
He'll be a high pick next year. I don't think he'll be at Penn State much past next season. Here's the crazy part. He's still learning everything, right? This guy was a defensive end and a running back in high school. He's still learning how to play 2nd-level linebacker, but as Brent Pry told us, his skill set is off the charts.
The slant to Coxie complete. Brought down near the 1st down by Trent Gordon. 31 seconds to go in the period. Coxie's had himself a good afternoon. 11-yard gain on that play, has a total of 132 yards receiving. And the meter still running for Memphis. Hand it off to Taylor, who motioned to the spot and picks up another 1st down at the 48.
Don't get it twisted. There's a lot of fight in this Memphis football team. They're not going anywhere. There's a 4th quarter coming up, and they're well within striking distance in this football game.
They know about adversity and how to deal with it.
Well, we talked about earlier the scene on Bill Street and game day. The energy was electric. Can they extract some of that energy here in the 4th quarter?
The thrill, it's not gone, folks. Stick around. You're watching the 2019 Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Back for the start of the 4th quarter. I'm Mark Jones alongside Dusty Dvorak, Olivia Decker down in the field. And this is the 84th edition of the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. And what a game this is turning out to be. With the high-scoring Tigers from Memphis taking on the great defensive unit from Penn State. But right now, Penn State's offense accountable for a bunch of points. They lead it by 9. First play of the 4th quarter, a run. Patrick Taylor stopped up by Hanser.
Ansar down the line of scrimmage. Nice play on the other side of the football. Good penetration of the rotation they have of this defensive line for Penn State. See if that freshness pays off here in the fourth quarter.
Ryan Silverfield, the head coach of the Memphis Tigers, his first game as head coach in this, the biggest game in school history. After a record 12 wins on the season, White completes it out of the backfield. That's his tight end, actually, Wilson. And Wilson into Penn State territory. They're going to spot it at the 45-yard line. Have about 4 more yards to go.
We talked about in the onset the intelligence, the football IQ of Brady White off the charts. And what I've liked is what his initial or even second read isn't there. He's not panicking. He's trusting, going through his reads and finding the open man as he did there to his tight end.
3rd and 4.
Check out of this. A lot of pressure coming.
And a flag thrown.
Ball start. Offense number 58. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's Brian Thomas. We've talked about from the onset. Scotty Dill, the right tackle, not playing in this game. Brian Thomas, the backup, starts at left. Easy goes to right. 3rd penalty today on Brian Thomas. This is an offensive line coming into this game that all 5 starters had been in every single game. So just disrupting that flow.
Back it up to the 50. White just got rid of it, found the guy, and it's complete to Gibson, and a clutch pass and catch for the Tigers. 1st down on the gain of 24. There was good pressure from Penn State, too, coming from Dos Matos.
Yeah, Brady White steps up in the pocket, middle of the field open, and he finds Antonio Gibson for a huge 1st down.
White got rid of it quickly, almost picked off by Parsons. Micah Parsons putting together a mixtape here today of highlights. 13 tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 forced fumbles.
Wow, and he almost had another one. Zone coverage. He steps right in front of the slant and want to get the ball to Gibson.
13 tackles. Wow. 2 forced fumbles. He probably led the team in Chapel, too. 2nd and 10. White swarmed by Mr. Everywhere, Micah Parsons.
Well, this time it's a delayed blitz. And again, they're not accounting for it. And when you have such a good defensive line, let's take a look at him. He's just going to come right here. He's going to kind of delay it. Well, he comes right off a snap. Opens wide up. Guard stays with the nose tackle. Tackle flexes out. Running back doesn't step up and help. Another easy sack for Micah Parsons.
Now you know why there's not a lot of number 11 jerseys in the stands here. And the over 54,000 people at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Out of the backfield complete. That's Kenneth Gainwell still on his feet. He's going to end up way short of the 1st down. And with a 9-point lead, they will see they're on the fringes of
they're well
range. They're actually well within. I mean, this is makeable for Riley Patterson.
Timeout for an injured player. Play clock on the 40 seconds, please.
A lot of 11 jerseys, and we know why now. If you didn't know already, Micah Parsons, a popular and talented guy on the field for Penn State.
Riley Patterson has been an absolute weapon here so far for Memphis.
These aren't chip shots that he's made today. Look at that.
Drilling them, too.
On 4th and 8. This one from 42. Just inside that upright. And it's down to a 6-point game with 12:01 to play. We got a couple of felines facing each other on the field. But this cat, ooh, that is lethal. You're watching the 2019 Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic from Arlington, Texas at AT&T Stadium. Mark Jones, Dusty Dvorak, Olivia Decker down on the field. What a great finish coming up as Memphis kicks another field goal to make it a 6-point ball game. And this a historic season for the Memphis Tigers. A very successful one as well for Penn State. Hamler going to take the fair catch, but Micah Parsons, Dusty, we were talking about it. This is maybe the best player I've seen all year in college football.
Best guy outside of Chase Young that I watched defensively on tape. And, you know, his speed, his instinctiveness, the way Brent Pry uses him in a multitude of ways at the line of scrimmage, second level. And you know what? He ain't done yet, Jonesy.
Come on, man. Come on.
That's just like you during the breaks.
He's just working out.
Keeping it swole.
Oh, boy.
He's had a ball game here today.
He's putting that muscle in his hustle right there, folks. An abundance of both. Micah Parsons, 14 tackles today, caused a couple of fumbles, one leading to a touchdown. Impacting the game. And on the run, that's Journey Brown with nowhere to go. Tim Hart with the tackle on the play. Under 12 minutes to go. Remember, coming into the game, we have 3 of the 4 coordinators calling plays for the first time. Tyler Bowen, the offensive coordinator for Penn State, doing it right now.
Journey Brown's had a heck of a ball game. Penn State really run the football at will for most of this game.
Clifford to pass. Knee wasn't down by Daniel George, who made the catch. He went low to get it and picked up 6 yards on the play.
Third down here for this Memphis defense. Guy you always got to look for in these spots. Yeah. KJ Hamler up top. Working out of the slot. It's like the comfort blanket for Sean Clifford.
Looking that way. Comes underneath complete. It's that other number 11 on offense, Daniel George again. Picks up 8 yards. Do you think he walks around State College and wonderfully gets mistaken for the other guy?
No way. Come on, man.
Player.
Micah Parsons.
You think he throws around campus in his jersey? Crazy, Mark
Time
Jones.
out. Hey, anything for some love sometimes, Dusty. Back after this.
The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, brought to you by Goodyear, celebrating those who rise above. Goodyear, more driven. AT&T, the all-new Ford Explorer, built Ford proud. And Gatorade, for the athletes who give everything. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Well, in 1979, Notre Dame defeated Houston, led by an ill Joe Montana, who spent much of the game on the sidelines, covered by blankets. He was sick, eating chicken soup, folks. This game will long be remembered as the chicken soup game.
Wow.
Joe with a memorable moment. Out to the 41-yard line. Noah Kane, and they defeated Houston. Joe Montana's team did on that game. And speaking of Houston, the University of Houston's greatest athlete of all time, Carl Lewis, Olympic sprint champion, long jump champion, on the sidelines today being honored. Talk about speed. 9.86. Sean Clifford keeping it himself. Not quite a 9.86 sprinter. Carl Lewis, of course, now the coach of the University of Houston track team, along with Leroy Burrell. A couple of the fastest men in the planet all time. 3rd and 5 coming up.
Big third down here for Memphis defensively. Go back to this. I'm guessing they're going to want to get the ball out quick, but we've seen this matchup really hurt Will Fries. Bryce Huff here off the edge. Been giving the right tackle a lot of issues all game. The chipper over there.
Looks into the boundary, complete to the tight end. Freiermuth still on his feet. A relentless, ruthless runner. Freiermuth picks up 20. This is what ruthless looks like.
Big physical 3rd and 5, no problem. Lower the shoulder, run through the safety, Sanchez Blake.
They run it again between the tackles. A nice gain by Noah Kane. who gives you a lot of yards after contact, 11 yards on that rush. You think that fatigue might be a factor for that Memphis defense or not?
Sure, they've been on the field a lot. Really, with this drive in particularly, we've seen Penn State convert on 2 third downs. So the plays on this drive are starting to add up, and that leads to a worn-down defensive line.
8:36 to go in the game. And this the highest scoring Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic ever. Clifford hands it off. Kane again smashing his way down to the 18-yard line. Noah Kane averaging a little over 5 yards per carry on the season, picks up 7 there.
Like we've talked about his physical style of running, but always falling and leaning forward when he finishes off his runs.
Penn State with a great group of talented running backs. It's Kane's turn. Again, Kane brought down right near the 10-yard line. Picks up the first down on a 7-yard gain. And they are just wearing down that Memphis front a little bit.
336 yards rushing now. Right side there, Will Fries with an excellent seal block. KJ Hamler getting to the second level helps spring a nice run by Kane.
Kane again stays on his feet inside the 5-yard line. Picks up 7.
Penn State posing their will. Watch the finish of this run here. Another inside zone. Good job by Freiermuth, the right side of the offensive line.
And again, stopped up just short of the end zone. It just feels and looks like they can't stop Penn State right now when the Nittany Lions want to run it.
It's been that way for most of the day. They've gotten whatever they wanted, whenever they've wanted it on the ground game, minus the 4th down stop. But when it matters the most in the 4th quarter, Penn State putting together probably their most quality drive of the ball game. Chewing away that clock too. 11 plays now and counting.
Loaded backfield. Kane again. Brought down short of the end zone. And now the close judge calls touchdown. They're going to call it a touchdown. Even Kane looks a little surprised that he got in.
Bryce Huff off the backside. See if he reaches over. That's touchdown, no question.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a point I was making, always falling forward. I mean, when you watch him run, tough to bring down, but constantly always falling forward. I go back to that Iowa game, true freshman. That was a tough, hard-fought 17-12 game. Late in that ball game, they're giving the football to Noah Kane to cap it off, and here they go for 2, Jones.
So the analytics dictate they go for 2. 6:31 to go in the 4th quarter. That pass complete. Freiermuth hauls it in. And yeah, you can strike a pose. An impressive drive by the Nittany Lions. 2 touchdowns today for Kane. Silverfield looking for a response from his Tigers. But sometimes when the other cat, in this case, a Nittany Lion, is bigger and stronger, you can peel those stripes off a Tiger. Voices intoning passionately right now from the Penn State side of the field. We are Penn State. Born back in the early part of the 1900s. Wally triplet situation, giving birth to that now famous saying. And now for today's Capital One rewarding performance. And there have been a bunch of them, Dusty, but when you look at the physicality of it, that's really what it's all about.
Big Ten football, man, and we've seen it on display. Jody Brown got it going early. Freiermuth just gives him the shoulder. There goes that man again. Micah Parsons been all over the field. The physicality has been here early, often, and late for Penn State in this Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic.
Boy, sometimes bigger and stronger really matters. 6:31 to go. Memphis facing a daunting challenge to go. Hand it off to Gibson. And Gibson going to pick up a couple of yards on the play. 6'2" senior from Stockbridge as we go down to Olivia.
Journey Brown was over on the sideline, and athletic trainers had him follow their fingers with his eyes. He's been cleared to play, but he did not finish that last drive. After Noah Kane, his teammate, scored the touchdown, Brown came over to Noah and just held him, whispering in his ear, having a really sweet moment about filling in. It's next man up, and all these skilled players getting it done today.
Well, they have been galvanized this year. Gibson in the open field down to the 42-yard line. And a first down for the Tigers, trying to rally here with under 6 minutes to go.
Well, Antonio Gibson, I mean, set up the wide receiver screen. He had open field in front. I wasn't so sure he wasn't going to take that to the house. Big play.
Out of the shotgun, Brady White. And he's sacked back to the 46-yard line by Robert Windsor, an all-conference performer for the Nittany Lions this year on that defensive line.
Kind of that lunch pail guy, undersized, nose tackle, fights his tail off, down in, down out. Had a great career. Gonna have a chance to play in the Senior Bowl, and nice sack.
3.5 for him on the season. Don't forget, coming up next, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Approaching 5 minutes to go. Brady White has a man open at the 23. Complete first down. That's Calvin Austin. They move the chains and moving quickly. Back in the red zone at the 19. They got 27. Boy, what a day this guy has had. Brady White. A little bit of his future still up in the air. He has a 6th year of eligibility remaining. That's right, 6th. White picked off at the 3-yard line by Wilson. And the Nittany Lions come up with another huge play defensively. That's his 2nd pick of the season. Brent Pry's defense got it on lockdown today. Impenetrable. Ready to put this to bed. Well, the College Football Playoff Foundation is the largest sports entity supporting education in America. Over the past 5 years, its nationwide Extra Yard for Teachers initiative has invested over $30 million in education. In partnership with ESPN, various conferences, schools, and bowl games, over 250,000 teachers and 5.5 million students have been directly impacted by the program. As we enter our 6th postseason, ESPN is proud to continue support for the College Football Playoff Foundation. For more about Extra Yard for Teachers celebrations taking place throughout the year and during the bowl season, follow CFP Extra Yard. On behalf of all of us, thank you to all teachers. And in space, boy, Olivia was talking about Journey Brown getting checked out on the sidelines. I think he checked out okay.
Wow, big hole opens up off the left side. 74 Gonzalez just buries his man into the ground. Great burst through the hole for Journey Brown. 74 Steven Gonzalez, 5th year senior, 2nd team all Big Ten. He's surprised if he doesn't get a look at the next level. Great size, physicality, moves people off the football. 62, Michael Minute. Both those guys have had an outstanding game here today.
Penn State looking for its 11th win of the season. Journey Brown plowing forward, picks up about 3. Well, tonight after Ohio State Clemson. Stick around for SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt. Post-game coverage from the 2nd semifinal, plus a first look at the College Football Playoff Championship matchup and highlights from the association's best teams, Lakers, Clippers, and Bucks. SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt after the Fiesta Bowl on ESPN and the ESPN app. Coach James Franklin has a propensity for being very protective and guarding of his players. We'll tell you more about that after this.
That I know and love brings people together. This is my football. This is the game that I love, and most importantly, my players that I love and will defend like sons.
That was in response to a letter that was sent by a fan to one of his players, Jonathan Sutherland. And the letter characterized Sutherland in very unflattering terms, largely the result of just because of his dreadlocks. Frankly, it was a racist letter. And the person that wrote the letter didn't think that a Penn State football player should look that way, especially talking about his dreadlocks. And James Franklin used that as a moment to galvanize his team, and a teaching moment as well, Olivia.
And that's what James Franklin told us. If it was just about wins and losses, I'd be coaching the NFL. He embraces these educational moments, chance to make a change. And when I talked to Jonathan Sutherland this week, he said the letter was degrading, but he took no personal offense. Really, he was overwhelmed that we all got to see the James Franklin the team sees all the time.
To your point, Olivia, you're so right. He said the great thing about football, it creates dialogue. He said that situation and other situations allowed for growth for the team and the community. And he just thought it was a major moment for the program. And it's really what he and the Penn State program stand for. And as we mentioned earlier in the show, his personal goal to be the first African-American coach to win a national championship. And I told you guys we got this assignment. I think he's one of the best coaches in college football. Penn State has a great coach. They are back in the national spotlight. If they finish this game off, which it looks like they will, 3 out of 4 years, not just a New Year's 6, but 11 win seasons, great recruiting classes. To me, it's a matter of time. Penn State is back at the top of college football. It's because of that man, James Franklin.
Look at the job he did in his previous stop at Vanderbilt. Speaks to his coaching ability as well. On the run, this is Journey Brown. And Brown is about 2 yards short of the first down. Penn State very intentional right now, very purposeful right now. Very just slowing things down. Meanwhile, first-year head coach in his first game as head coach, Ryan Silverfield, helped us out with a little selfie story.
When I started as the offensive line coach, we went to Memphis Animal Services and provided homes for dogs and cats that needed shelters and forever homes. And for me, it's a lot about loyalty. And, you know, we have a dog named Max who I'm in love with, who we care for every day, who's going through some issues. And I believe that loyalty also led me to be the head coach at Memphis, and forever grateful for that.
Ryan Silverfield with a pretty heart-wrenching story, Olivia, when you think about his love for animals and in his whole family too.
And Mark, I talked with him and his wife on the field just today, and they still were telling me more about their 10-year-old red-nosed pit bull Max. He's up in their hotel room as we speak, came to the Cotton Bowl with them on the team's charter. He had a tumor on his spine and is counting his last days now. You can tell this couple is completely rocked by this news. They just love their dog and are such animal lovers.
Well, you heard him say that loyalty is a big component of who he is. And it translates not just with his dog as part of his family, but the 100 or so kids, as he calls them, on his Memphis team as well, Dusty.
They're going to fall a little bit short here today, but in his first opportunity as a head coach at a level of this magnitude, a game of this magnitude, he had his team ready to play. They came ready to play, and I think Memphis made an excellent hire. And just back to I was reading the article on him about the dogs and his love for his animals, and also the things that him and his offensive line do with the animal shelter. And this was an article from back in the summer, well before there was any idea he was going to be the head coach, but it talked about his, you know, what he's about and the loyalty that he possesses. And those things were written from all the way back in the summer is a huge reason why he's in the spot he's in to be the next head man at Memphis.
Interesting. Devin Ford on the carry. Picks up a yard with under 2 minutes to go. And this the highest scoring Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic ever.
He told us that he turned down opportunities with Big 10 and Big 12 coordinator positions to stay at Memphis. And I think that was the loyalty that Laird Veach and the people at Memphis looked to when they said, quote, this is a quote from Laird Veach, that, you know, he separated himself from the rest of the national people that they looked at from unwavering passion and commitment for Memphis football.
Yeah. Did a great job as a guy who began his coaching career as an 18-year-old in wake of a football injury that didn't allow him to play anymore at a high school in Jacksonville, Florida. Don't forget, coming up right after this game, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. LSU taking on Oklahoma. Coming up next, first of two great college football playoff national semifinals games. Number 1 against number 4, that one at 4 o'clock. And then after that, it'll be the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, Ohio State in action in that one.
Well, the story of this football game, old school, ground and pound. Penn State, 390 yards rushing. That's the most rushing yards by a Penn State team in any bowl ever. You couple that with number 11, Micah Parsons, and that's how Penn State is able to get to another New Year's 6 bowl victory here today.
Folks, stay tuned for the Ford postgame coming up right after the game on the ESPN app. And it's nice to see Sean Clifford come back from that injury and cap off his season with a victory here in this game. Clifford, remember, missed some time after suffering that injury against Ohio State, but rallied. As I mentioned, the Ford postgame, trophy presentation, awards. I'm going to guess that Micah Parsons is in line to take home a trophy or 3.
Yes. It's got to be Journey Brown on offense. Yeah. 202 yards. And how about the end of the season for Journey Brown? Again, this is a good problem to have for Penn State, but they leaned on 4 different running backs throughout the course of the season. But Brown separated himself, closing out the regular season with 3 out of 4 100-yard games, 7 touchdowns in that time. And here today, 202 and a couple of touchdowns. Bright future for 2 very talented sophomores here on Penn State.
Yep. Penn State today playing in their 3rd New Year's 6 bowl game under James Franklin. There's a look at Journey Brown, the most outstanding offensive player of the game, as Penn State plays in its 50th bowl game. And there's your defensive player of the game, Micah Parsons, with some great numbers: 14 tackles, 7 solo, a couple of sacks, 3 tackles for loss, and 2 forced fumbles.
And he was really robbed, if you think about it, because on the defensive touchdown, that gets ruled an interception. Should be a sack fumble. Ball's in the air. So as gaudy as those stats are, I don't even think it fully tells the story of what he did on that side of the ball here today.
23 seconds to go as we wind this one down. Just the first of several great games on a fantastic day of college football. National semifinal games come up right after this. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, which follows this game. LSU and Oklahoma coming up next. Coach Franklin still coaching to the final second here.
He's locked in, man. Is there time left on the clock, Jonesy?
As I like to say, he's smiling. He just hasn't told his face yet. Coach is a monument to intensity there on the sidelines.
A.J. Hamler, I think, got a little bit confused on where he was on the field. Went down a little bit shy of the first down. Looked like he could have gotten it, but
Penn State going to get its 11th win of the season and finish it off with a sack. Jason Owe puts a period on it today.
They got him. Oh, nice form tackle by Coach Franklin. Oh, he took it down. Wow. Wow.
James Franklin celebrating with his team.
I think that's a 2-point takedown on Cam Brown.
He wanted to get on the stat sheet too.
I guess don't just talk about it, be about it.
He's living it. Ryan Silverfield with Coach Franklin embracing it midfield. And let's go downstairs to Olivia.
Okay, Dusty, don't be jealous. I'm with Micah Parsons now. Micah, your team this year, all season, has been so good on defense. You've been such a big part of that, and we're today. What's been the key to this season's success?
This season?
Yeah.
The key was right from camp. You know, we was just going out strong, effort. You know, starting from last year, we had a chip on our shoulder. We didn't really like how it ended, and we put in our minds earlier that we was going to go 100% at everything, whether it was workouts, whether it's practice, and in games, and it just translated all throughout the season.
And Micah, you in particular, coaches have said you're nowhere near your ceiling. How do you build upon this All-American season?
You know, I just got to build on it. You know, I don't think no one's perfect. I got to keep learning. I got to keep doing more, keep helping the young guys, and, you know, shout out to my man Cam. But, you know, they help grow me, man. Like, you just got to keep building on top of this, and we're just going to keep getting better and better.
Can we see your Humble Beast tattoos? Humble Beast, All-American. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Makes you want to go get some ink, doesn't it? Big day for Penn State and Coach James Franklin. Don't forget, coming up next, LSU, Oklahoma, followed by Ohio State, Clemson. Great day here of football. For Olivia, Dusty, and our entire crew, I'm Mark Jones. How many times have you seen the coach tackle the guys with the Gatorade bucket? We go to College Football Playoff pregame show. So long.